This summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
A senior help wanted sign.
The following is a C14 Sports presentation.
Friday night baseball is on the air. Neil Srivastava, Matt Creeley on the call. Thank you so much for tuning in on Cable 14. We got Game 4 of the CHCH Cup going on tonight, Matt. And the Hamilton Cardinals made this a lot more interesting last night with that victory.
Yeah, Neil, and you could argue that the Cardinals have already done the hardest part of this home and home with the Welland Jackfish, and that was to beat them at their place. But as you were talking to me about before the game, 3-game losing streaks for the Welland Jackfish are few and far between, and to our knowledge, they've never had a 4-game one, so they are dealing with a very motivated squad across the field. You could definitely see it in batting practice. They were definitely a lot more focused and a lot more all business here since they got off the bus here, that's for sure. The Jackfish looking to avoid their first 4-game loss in recent memory. You have to go back a few years to when they lost 3 in a row anyways. Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Cardinals to, again, deal with the absolute juggernaut that the Welland Jackfish can be sometimes, and we haven't seen it in the past couple of weeks, but I'm sure they'll be bringing their best stuff tonight after a slightly disappointing loss at Welland. Yep. Enrique Saldana gets the start for the Cardinals, looking to improve to 3-0 on the week here, which is nice if you're a Cardinals fan, of course, but they got a tough task with the Welland Jackfish coming at the bat. And we'll look at the lineup starting for the Welland Jackfish right now. Pierre Boucher will lead things off. Gio Morello is batting second. Jonah Weiser is third. Robert Mullen, the catcher, batting fourth. Has 9 home runs, leads the league. Grayson Barrett batting fifth. Mateo Persolato, Austin Gom, Josh Marchese, and Brandon Luther is batting in the 9th spot at second base. Yeah, leading off is Pierre-Olivier Boucher, recently let go from the Frontier League and signed by these Welland Jackfish. He made his club debut last night at home, went 1 for 4. Definitely a great addition for these Jackfish, that's for sure. Yeah, he was a 10th round draft pick at the Atlanta Braves just 2 years ago. As Saldana starts him off with a strike, and we're underway here. First pitch at 7:32 p.m. As Boucher lifts this one into left field. And Yoki Pena will extend the glove in front of the Lager Shed sign and make the out. And there's one away here. Then I'll bring up the captain, Gio Morello.
Stepping up to the plate, center fielder number 11, Gio Morello.
Defensively now for these Hamilton Cardinals, it'll be Pena, Duncan, Dominguez left to right in the outfield. Moving on to the infield, the conductor, John Slazzo, Brendan Nickel, and Tommy Reyes Cruz at the middle, and then Nico Cacados at first. And Saldana and Bernardo is your battery. Saldana will look to settle in here and just give the Cardinals an opportunity to get on the bats earlier. First pitch to Morello is in there for a called strike. Jeff Rose doing the calls and strikes behind the plate this evening. So we should be for a fairly quick-paced game here with Rosie behind the plate. Big swing and a miss on that cut by Morello. The count quickly 0-2. Saldana has the captain on the ropes here. Saldana's a ground ball guy, the type of pitcher who's in the zone a lot. And with a guy like that, he'll have an occasional outing where he just gets lit up sometimes. It just happens, and that happened last week against Kitchener. But he's in the zone early and often here against his former club, getting ahead in counts so far tonight. And he does. 0-2 the count. Saldana adjusting himself on the mound here before getting the sign from his catcher, Bernardo. His 0-2 offering on its way. Just misses outside. 1-2 the count now. A great take by the veteran there, just realizing, hey, that's probably going to be outside from where
I can't do anything with on the bat, so I'm going to let that one go and hope for hope the baseball gods are in my favor here. 1-2 offering is fouled away again. Morello playing spoiler here. Working Saldana to another pitch across.
Yeah, Morello's a veteran guy. He knows how to have a good two-strike approach. We saw in last night's game, even when he was behind or down in the count, the at-bat's never over with him.
That they aren't. 1-2 misses outside. Now 2-2. Just underway if you're just tuning in.
Cardinals looking for their first 3-game win streak of the season. They've had a couple tries.
As he gets the punch out, Morello goes down swinging. And there's 2 away here in the first inning. And another strikeout for our friends at Little Caesars to strike out hunger. Gonna bring up the shortstop, Jonah Weisner, he's been absolutely on fire this season. And here's Bernardo's looking back in here, settling down once again.
You know, Luis Bernardo making his 2025 Bernie Arbor debut as a player, of course.
It's not like he went anywhere. He just he decided to take a different role this year. That one misses inside on Weisner for a ball 1.
And Bernardo rejoined the Cardinals' official roster earlier this week, making his season debut Wednesday night at Toronto.
That one misses for a ball count. 2-0 on Weisner. That one hits him, and he'll dig down the. And I was waiting. That was not intentional. Saldana's a little angry at himself as he gets a 2-out walk here, or a 2-out free pass here to Weisner.
No, he's not trying to hit any of his former teammates, least of all with 2 outs in the top of the first inning of a big game.
Plus with a big bat at the lineup now, you know, at the plate now, and Robert Mullen, who loves hitting in this ballpark. We've seen way too many home runs by Mr. Mullen here in this ballpark. You think he was the home guy.
And you see the replay of that hit by pitch there right off the outside of the knee there on Weisner. If it hurt, he's not showing it.
No. He's definitely a gamer. Of course, he had a 24 consecutive games hitting streak snapped a couple weeks ago as well, so he's working on the next one. But definitely a great accomplishment for a young man. 34 games overall, though, including postseason leading back into last year.
It's more than half a season's worth.
That it is. Throw over, Weisner back safely as Saldana keeps him honest at first.
And for those of you who missed last night's contest between these two teams in Welland, Robert Mullen added to his league-leading home run total.
That he did, with a loud thud in left field in the 6th inning. Takes a strike there on the other half from Saldana. Count is 0-2.
The contact on Robert Mullen's home run yesterday wasn't exactly menacing, but he caught it out front and hit it to the pole side. So even though he probably got a little more under it than he might have wanted to, he still had enough juice to leave the yard.
He's one of the few batters in the league definitely swinging that torpedo. You can just tell by the difference of the bat weight now.
Yep.
O2 offering is swung on and missed. Mullen goes down swinging. Saldana gets out of the inning. Jackfish will strand a base runner here in the first half of the inning. We're scoreless here on Cable 14. Pair of Ks here as you see Saldana set up on the outside. Well, Bernardo asked for that one on the other half and got it. Mullen goes chasing for the third out of the inning. See the crowd, the bench shot here as the guys are, you know, a lot of smiles, lots of laughs here on the bench. A much more looser group coming into this, you know, with an opportunity to take to game 2 of a home-and-home series.
Yeah, the way the mood can change, Neil, when you've won 2 in a row and you have the chance to sweep a home-and-home with the Welland Jackfish.
Not often that happens, that's for sure.
No, sir.
But the task at hand is going to be rather huge here, as here's the starting lineup for the Cardinals at home. Yoki Pena, Nikhil Katatos, Brendan Nickel, your top 3. Josh Williams is in the 4th spot, the designated hitter tonight. Carlos Domingos is batting 5th in right field. Tyler Duncan jumps down to 6th in center field. Luis Bernardo, the catcher, is 7th. Jonathan Salazzo in the 8th spot. And, of course, Tommy Reyes-Cruz batting in the 9th spot for your Cardinals, taking on a rare road start for Ben Abram. Just how it worked out in the schedule tonight.
Yeah, Big Ben, as he is affectionately known, has thrown 27 2/3 innings this year, 4 starts, 5 appearances, 25 strikeouts to just 6 walks, so he's got the ratios going, but he did get knocked around a little bit in the Jackfish first loss of the season a few weeks ago versus London. His ERA is slightly inflated up to 4.22 on the year, and like you said, Neil, it's not often we see this man pitch away from the confines of Welland Stadium.
Yeah. And, you know, that London game, it wasn't even a lot of hard-hit balls. It was just 5 singles in a row in that 5th inning.
And that's kind of the same fate that met him against the Guelph Royals in last year's semifinal playoff series. Sure, he gave up a lot of runs, but just a lot of flares, balls hit off the end of the bat, and that's baseball. Sometimes the ones in play just fall, and that's why you hear coaches talk so many times about just, hey, put it in play. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
And the Jackfish are no strangers to that adage. They made an uncharacteristically high 5 errors yesterday. Some of them contributed to the Cardinals' 3-run 6th inning, which ended up standing as the deciding factor in the game.
And again, to the Jackfish credit and everything else, when those errors happened, they were able to get the pitching staff or the defense to come up with a great play and an opportune time to keep the score where it was. We had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game for both teams. The Cardinals did what they had to do and scratched 3 runs across. It was fundamentally sound, but it wasn't not necessarily highlight reel worthy the way they did it. But
no, and you know, you come off a big blow on Wednesday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you go into Welland, and you're going, okay, hopefully we saved a few runs to pull something out here. But it's just like then the hits didn't start coming. I'm like going, man, they leave the bats in Toronto or something. It was just something weird.
Well, they ended up doing just enough to win, and that's all that matters, especially at this point in the season. And the way the first few weeks were slightly disappointing for this offense. We're already seeing one of the changes here as Yoki Pena steps in to lead off the game. He was moved to the leadoff spot, starting with Wednesday night's romp of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, sometimes you just got to flip the lineup upside down and hope for a little better opportunities here and shake out who comes out here where.
But it's worked so far.
Yeah.
To Chris Piano and the coaching staff's credit, he's got back-to-back multi-hit games since moving into that leadoff spot.
Abram starts him with a strike. And Pena fouls that one off, and it's quickly 0-2 from the big man. Pena batting 7 for 56 on the season, bet 303, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Definitely deserving of an opportunity to start in the leadoff spot. Watches that one all the way into the glove for a ball, and the count 1-2 now.
At the start of the season, if you told me that Yoki Pena would be a candidate for being a leadoff hitter for the Cardinals, I would have admittedly told you I don't know, but he's shown enhanced contact ability as the season's gone on. Playing his way into that spot for sure.
He lines this one up the middle, and that's going to be exactly why you got him in the leadoff spot. Pena with the leadoff single to start the Cardinals' home half of the first inning.
And that's how you start a ball game. He was behind in the count and got a fastball up and in. It wasn't a good pitch to hit, but he stayed on it. He knew it was coming and took it right back where it came from, got some good wood on it. Textbook hitting there by Pena, and the Cardinals are off to a good start here. Nico Cicado stepping in now, hitting second in the lineup. He's tailed off somewhat since his extremely hot start to the year, but his .319 average still leads the team.
Here's the grounder through the hole, and that's going to get through. And you can just tell by the body language from Ben Abrams, it's just going to be one of those nights for the big guy. Cardinals just sticking the bat out there so far, and a pair of singles so far.
And there's a great piece of situational hitting by Cicados. He's not letting Abram get comfortable after giving up the leadoff single, not giving him any chances to play his way back into this ball game. First pitch all over it, put it through the hole on the left side. Ducks on the pond here for Brendan Nickel.
Well, exactly. And normally with 2 on and nobody away here, you might think about bunting and moving around and let somebody else do the job, but you want to take the bat out of Nickel's hands here.
Yeah, and the Cardinals have been making quite a bit of use of that bunt strategy lately with runners on. We've seen it the past few games.
As Grayson Barrett creeps in from first, Josh Marchese's at first. They look a lot the same there. So
they do. Both got menacing power, too, at the plate.
They do. A 1 offering from Abrams. Misses outside for a ball, runs the count even at 1-1. Nobody away here in the Cardinals' first inning. 2 on, nobody away. Jackfish retired on 4 batters. A pair of strikeouts for Saldana in the top half of the inning if he just jumped in. Abram gets the sign from Mullen. This one's chopped at the third baseman. He'll go to second for 1. On to first in time for twin killing here. But the runner goes to third with 2 away now for Josh Williams.
And that's one of those things where if you're Nichols, sure, you're happy that you hit the ball hard, but with runners on and less than 2 out, when you do that right at an infielder, that's not a good thing. And the Jackfish certainly have the fundamentals to turn 2, and that's what happened.
Of course, with the third baseman creeped in almost even with the edge of the grass, it was a look what I found. I can easily have a few more steps on these guys, and a 5-4-3 double play and 2 away now. Abrams looking to get out of his ender here against Josh Williams.
Yeah, it's a bit of a momentum killer for the Cardinals, but if you're Williams here, you can't give this one away. Got to keep Abram on his toes.
He chops the first tee. You can see he's right up the second baseman. Luther up with it. He'll flip to first, and that's going to be inning over. 4-3 goes your putout. Cardinals strand a base runner and get 2 hits, but come away empty-handed here after the 1 on Cable 14.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Of course, tickets on sale right now for the Cardinals in the All-Star Game. Go to HamiltonCardinals.com, get your tickets, and join us on July 20th. If you guys haven't gone and voted in the All-Star Game, make sure you guys go do that as well. Go to the IBL.ca/vote and cast your votes today.
Yeah, what
get your Cardinals in the lineup.
Vote, 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 vote. We're now less than a month till that All-Star Game.
We are. We've got another just over a week and a half to go on the vote as well. So, yes, lots of time to get those votes in. And, hey, maybe you can go ask Grandma for her email address and cast, too. No score here in the top of the second inning. Enrique Saldana and Ben Abrams locked in a good battle in the first inning. Both had base runners. Both got out of jams in the early half here.
I think a big difference for Saldana in that first inning between today and his last start versus the Kitchener Panthers, he was inducing a lot more chase. He had solid command of both his secondary offerings, getting a couple chases, swings and misses out of the zone. Kitchener hitters chased at less than 10% of the pitches they saw on Friday. He just wasn't establishing the strike zone well. But a different story to start off tonight.
Yep. And Grayson Barrett will lead things off. He's the left fielder tonight. Yeah, they do look a lot. Josh Marchese and Grayson Barrett look a heck of a lot alike here. Gonna have to get one of them to, I don't know, wear a name tag or something just so we can keep identifying themselves. But they both can mash the baseball, as it's been proven many, many times so far this season. First pitch misses inside and gets away from Bernardo for ball 1.
And it's not like if you get a quick glance at the back of their jerseys, it would help either, because Barrett's 24 and Marchese's 34.
Yep. So, you know, like I said, we need something. Just wear something else on the front of it, like a name tag or something. Maybe a Grimace face. But no, we don't want to bring Grimace back, because they went on a 13-game winning streak after Grimace threw out the first pitch in their game last year, just like the New York Mets.
Yeah, I wonder what was in the water that day.
A big swing and a miss there. And the count now 1-2 on Grayson Barrett. And you can hear the fans cheering the beer batter of the game.
Now, for those of you who are not aware of the beer batter promotion, first of all, how?
Yep. Barrett reaches out and gets the glove on that one, that bat on that one, and Tommy Reyes-Cruz tried to get that one, but unfortunately it's going to be over his head, and that's a leadoff single for Barrett and company here to start the second inning.
And if you're Saldana, you can't get too discouraged by that one. That pitch was out of the zone, as you'll see on the replay here. Way away, but he flares it over the head of Reyes-Cruz into right field, giving Mateo Porcelato an early opportunity here with a runner on base.
Porcelato, who's been an outfielder for a lot of the time now playing third base with the departure of Jake Sanford. Takes strike one from Saldana. 0-1 in the count. Nobody away here in the top of the second inning. Jackfish with a base runner at first.
Portulato started the season slightly later, but he was no worse for wear, hitting .370 so far in his first 11 games.
Pitch misses low. Count even at 1-1 to Portulato. Seven for 46 on the season, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Called strike as Bernardo has a quick look down at first.
Despite the slightly lesser amount of games played for Portulato, he has already lapped the field, leading the Jackfish in stolen bases by a mile with 9. It's almost 1 per game.
Almost 1 per game, yes. He likes to run. 1-2 offering. Misses outside for a ball. Evens the count at 2-2. Bernardo had to catch that one and try to pull it back from the other batter's box. Saldana glances over at the runner at first. Looks into Bernardo for the sign. 2-2 offering is fouled away and out of play here into a full parking lot down in left field. Another great crowd on hand here at Bernie Arbor Stadium. So if you haven't been down there yet, summer's on now, so you definitely want to get your tickets and come on out, bring the whole family out on a Friday night baseball or the occasional Sunday afternoon game as well.
Yeah, school's finally out for everybody, and you can tell with how packed this place is tonight.
I've already been warned by Jenny, do not wake me up on Monday. So it's just like... And of course, I gotta shout out Jenny as well, because as you guys probably saw on social media, there was the kids put together a great post and everything else, but they neglected to mention Jenny in it. She took offense to that, so, and justifiably so, because she's been my co-pilot and my chauffeur for the last 4 or 5 seasons here too. So yeah, got to give Jenny her credit too.
Yeah, very merciful flip of the calendar from June to July coming up for Jenny.
Yes, she gets to sleep in, and I have to go to work, and she's not afraid to rub that in. And that one's in there for a called strike.
And in case anybody missed this, there's another GOM in Welland now.
Yes, there is. Austin, and who, congratulations to him and his teammates. 59-0 in the NAIA season.
I saw that.
That's just unheard of. Of course, they got a visit to the White House. As GOM comes through here with a base hit, and that's going to have the runners away here, first and second, with two away here. Or sorry, 1 away. I got a batter ahead of myself here. Or an out ahead of myself. Josh Marchese now the batter, the first baseman tonight.
GOM did a nice job there of taking what he was given and punching it the other way. Hoping to join his brother Tyson as a dual GOM threat there in the bottom third of the Jackfish order. Tyson not starting tonight.
Oh. Saldana's got some work to do here with only 1 away. That one misses inside and low. Bernardo with a great stop to keep it in front of him. Keep the runners at second and first respectively. Infield bat double play depth here. That one's in there for a called strike. And the count is 1-1 on Marchese.
Yeah, if the Cardinals remember anything from last time Josh Marchese was here, he punished an up and in fastball way out to right field for a solo home run. Saldana trying to stay away from him here. That appears to be a good move.
I think that's definitely a wise thing. Anything in the wheelhouse he can turn on. That one just misses outside again. And the count is 2-1. Just not getting the outer half calls right now.
And he was to start this inning.
But Bernardo's had to pull them both back so far from what I've seen over the other half here. That one misses low and inside. Count now 3-1. Saldana doesn't want to load the bases here with 1 away. He also doesn't want to give him something to hit in his wheelhouse.
That's the thing. He's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place right now.
That he is.
Luis Bernardo calling time there for a second. Trying to slow things down maybe for his pitcher. Maybe there wasn't any equipment issue with him or anything. Just
giving Saldana an extra couple of seconds to catch his breath here and focus on the task at hand here. 3-1 offering misses upstairs, and that's unfortunately going to load the bases here for the Cardinals.
That'll bring up Brendan Luther, the number 9 hitter, and he's been a contact machine this year, hitting .328 on the season, making a wonderful first impression with the bat here in his rookie IBL season, the Mississauga native. He did have a couple of errors. He did have a hand in that underwhelming defensive performance yesterday for the Jackfish. Probably hoping to flush it and put it behind him.
Indeed, he would like to do so. Of course, he was a guest on CHH TV earlier this week as well, so.
That he was.
That one's in there for a called strike. Saldana gets ahead of Luther at 0-1.
You know what one of the quickest and easiest way is to amend for your mistakes in the field? Is to come up with a clutch knock with the bases loaded the next night.
Let's not go there.
I'm just saying, if you're Brendan Luther, that's got to be the mentality.
Exactly. And, you know, as he does this, lines this one into the outfield and does just that there. And 2 runs will come across here, and the Jackfish lead this one 2-0, but we got an injury on the play here. I don't know if it's a cramp or a Charlie horse, but this is not fun.
Looked like something along those lines there for Barrett as he crosses the plate first.
Be a single and 2 RBIs for Brandon Luther.
Big round of applause for Grayson Barrett.
And Barrett's going to try to walk this one off here, but yeah, definitely a cramp or something.
And again, I have a hard time, you know, identifying any issues with that pitch by Saldana. It was in on the hands of Luther. It's not like it was loud contact again. He was in on the fist, but he just dropped it in the right spot. Double play still in order, at least here, if you're looking for a silver lining for Hamilton.
And Saldana would love to get one here just to get out of this inning and give the bats a chance to reset here as he faces the top of the order now for Boucher and Morello on deck. Now misses low for ball 1. 2-0 Jackfish, 1 away here in the top of the second inning. Marchese, the leadoff at second. Luther at first. As Saldana works with a 1-0 count on Boucher. Called strike on the pitch. Boucher asking if it was on the swing attempt or not, and Jeff Rose points at the plate, so that tells you it was on the pitch and location. As Saldana goes in again here. A little more focused in on the task at hand right now. One offering. Misses outside for a ball. Throw down is going to be off the back of the runner at second base, and Tommy Reyes Cruz will have to go fish that one out of the infield here. And 2-1 the count now.
I don't mind the idea of keeping the runner honest down there at second, but throw just probably slipped out of the hands of Luis Bernardo there.
Saldana's with a 2-1 offering on its way. It's chopped foul into the Jackfish dugout off the front of the facing.
Pierre-Olivier Boucher of Lévis, Quebec. Once again, a 10th round pick of the Atlanta Braves in 2023, not that long ago. The outfielder played for Southern Illinois University, made it up to single A, and then started the year with Quebec in the Frontier League.
Sure, Alex Allenthopoulos always loves drafting a fellow Canadian when he gets an opportunity, so 10th round spot for there is not a bad spot for the Braves as well. A big swing and a miss, and Boucher goes down swinging. And that is 4 punch-outs for Saldana in this contest here in the second inning. 4 strikeouts on the spike as you see it running across the front of our vantage point here.
That was a beautiful pitch there by Saldana. That's exactly where you want to put a 2-strike slider to a lefty if you're a right-hander. Down and in, right on the back feet. Boucher thought it was in his wheelhouse, as you'll see here, and then the bottom falls right out of it.
He just knew as soon as he swung, it's like, man, I totally missed that one. A big cut on that one from Gio Morello, and Saldana had the count 0-1.
And there's the changeup again for Saldana. He's used it effectively tonight, and it's going to be a big pitch for him throughout the game against this lefty-heavy Welland lineup.
Now, in your opinion, who gets the advantage in a matchup like this? Because they're former teams going against former teammates going head-to-head against each other. Does the pitcher have the advantage, or does the batters have it? Because they've seen him pitch so many times against other people.
Well, the familiarity goes both ways, right? I mean, sure, the Welland batters have seen Saldana pitch for them before, but Saldana has seen them hit against other teams before.
So I guess the jury is still out on that then.
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer. Maybe the proof will be in the pudding tonight.
Maybe. As Morello takes the strike here, now the count 1-2 with 2 away. Saldana now a pitch away from getting out of this inning and giving the Cardinals an opportunity to get back on the bats down 2-0. Chopper fouled off Morello. Saldana will pick it up and then request a new baseball, as Jeff Rose will inspect that one. Probably makes a snide comment, well, you really knocked the crap out of that one or something back there.
I'm trying to hit that one at the center of the earth.
Yeah, just making sure Morello's okay, too. Not sure where he got it off of, but it didn't sound like it was a good spot.
Nope.
1-2 the count once again from Saldana. Big swing and a miss, and Morello goes down swinging for the second inning in a row. But the Jackfish do strike for 2 here in the top of the second inning, and they lead this one 2-0 on Cable 14.
2 runs on 3 hits with 2 runners left on base and scoring 2.
Once again, the changeup doing it there for Mr. Saldana. Got Morello to chase out of the zone on 2 strikes. It's exactly what that pitch is for. He probably didn't even get it as low as he wanted it to, as you'll see here. But again, he probably thought it was a fastball up in the zone that he could get his arms extended to. No, sir.
No, it broke away, and once he started his swing there, I think he realized afterwards, watching it all the way into Bernardo's glove there. Of course, Saldana also celebrated a birthday in the last 7 days as well. So, happy belated birthday, Enrique. Glad to have you in the Cardinals' nest.
Yeah, it almost lined up with his start day. That would have been cool.
Two runs and 3 hits, the damage for the Jackfish, as Big Ben Abrams will go to work here as he escaped some damage of his own in the first inning. Cardinals had the first 2 runners reach on singles before Brandon Nickel grounded a double play, and then Josh Williams grounded out to end the first inning. Abrams was going to face Dominguez, Tyler Duncan, and Luis Bernardo in this inning due up. It's still weird to see Duncan in that 6th spot and Bernardo and company below him in the order there.
Well, yeah, Duncan had one scorching hot weekend in the leadoff spot where you couldn't get him out.
Yep.
And that was his first weekend of the season in the leadoff spot. But since then, it hasn't been as smooth sailing. And Yoki Peña's been more than up to the task, hitting at the top of the Cardinals' order. So take some pressure off Tyler. That's been the name of the game for these Cardinals. Lineup construction and roster construction on the hitting side and all that stuff. So that'll continue to be the goal here. And as for Luis Bernardo hitting 7th, you just want to ease him back in here.
Well, exactly. It's a huge change of scenery from going from being a manager, hitting fungos and throwing batting practice to suddenly, being on the other side of that lineup card and having to contribute at the plate.
Of course, it helps, too, when you have a guy like this in the middle of your order, Carlos Dominguez. He was an absolute gamer last Friday. He knocked the ball all around the field, 4 hits.
Yep, 4 for 5. And that one's going to be missing outside from Abrams for ball 1. 1 of 3 games in the Intercounty this evening. Guelph is at Toronto at Dominico Field. That's just underway. And Chatham-Kent is in London on a Friday night, which I don't agree with.
Yeah, you got a bone to pick with that one.
It's just because they're so close geographically. Why would you waste a Friday night in both cities? It's just like get maybe a Barrie in London or, somebody like that as far as that, or Chatham-Kent having a Toronto up there. But, of course, Toronto's playing at home on a Friday too. So, again, maybe it's just how the schedule flexed out this year because Toronto asked to change away from the traditional Sunday afternoon games to try some different dates to try to get more people interested in baseball.
Yeah, I do see your point about Chatham in London. It does make the travel more of a headache on days where it's less convenient later down the road.
Well, a big cut there, and Dominguez will go down swinging here, and that's Big Ben's first punch-out of the night. But yeah, so, in Chatham-Kent's defense, as far as the schedule goes and everything else, they really got to stand up for themselves. Like, they should not be going to Barrie on a Thursday night. It's just not feasible. And, of course, then they came to Hamilton the next night.
Yeah. I mean, Chatham in general, they're always going to be the least happy with the schedule. They've got to travel more than anybody else.
Yeah. Well, they got to pretty much return the favor to Barrie because Barrie goes up there for a 3-game series on a weekend, and then they don't play they don't come back up. So maybe they got to look at that next year going to the schedule and maybe do the same thing. Or as Duncan tees off on this one, and yeah, that's gone.
Lean into it, Tyler.
Wow. Solo blast cuts the lead to 2-1 here as he got all that offering from Abrams.
Now, that was about as pretty of a swing as we'll see from Tyler Duncan here at Bernie Arbor, and that's a long list to go off of.
Yeah. That it is.
Absolutely smoked. Abram tried to start him off with a fastball on the outer half, and Tyler is having none of it.
He says, "Thank you very much. I like to see those on the wheelhouse." And you can just tell by the ovation coming to the crowd here how much Pappy means to this lineup.
It just feels right to be hearing El Loco again through these speakers.
Yep. 2-1 the score now as Luis Bernardo comes to the plate for the first time. Back in the lineup at home. Abrams starts moving off with a strike in the outer half. Count 0-1. One away now.
Yeah, Bernardo liked coaching, and he was well respected as a coach, but when the going gets tough, you need vocal leadership in your locker room. The Cardinals just didn't feel like they had enough of it without him as their primary backstop, so in he goes.
1-1 the count now.
Bernardo had a very successful return to the lineup, homering in his return on Wednesday night against the Maple Leafs.
Pops this one in the air, not that deep. Wisner calling for it. He's on the edge of the grass. He'll make the catch. And there's 2 away as Bernardo's retired on the F6 for the second out of the inning. And I bring up the conductor, Jonathan Salazzo, and it was so nice to watch him swing the sticks Wednesday night at Dominico Field. And that first at bat, it was just so nice to see him just let all the weight of the world officially off his shoulders in that swing.
Yeah, it was quite the homecoming for Mr. Salazzo, and Taylor Lepard got out ahead of him 0-2, but then he left one out over the plate, slightly elevated in Salazzo's wheelhouse. That one wasn't coming back, and it was the first of many big knocks for Salazzo on the night.
Well, exactly, and then I believe he got hit by a pitch, walked twice, and then he hit a double that cleared the bases in the later stages. So he takes ball 1 here from Brandon Abram.
And remember, that game was rained out originally. It was supposed to happen on just the second Sunday of the season, so Salazzo needed to wait extra long to get back to his old stomping grounds.
Yeah, but the Bushman definitely let him have it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
As he takes a big hack at that offering from Abrams, and the counts even at 1-1. But, it was all joking, everything else. The Bushmen loved the guy. I'm sure Jonathan probably went up there and had his celebratory beverage with him before he jumped on the bus or jumped in the car on the way home. But, yeah, they were riding him pretty good as he swings and misses that offering. Jonathan Freeman in our headset asking about the Rouges in CFL football. I'll have to defer to Nate on that one because I'm not a football guy.
Not my area of expertise either.
I remember trying to score one for the University of Guelph the one year in an exhibition game, and I was just like, what do you mean they got a point for that silly thing? You kicked it through an end zone. Congratulations. It's 1-1 in that game between Montreal and whoever they're playing.
Yeah, for those of you unfamiliar with the Rouges, it is possible to have a 1-1 score in a football game, and we've got that right now.
When in doubt, it's Brendan in the truck. When in doubt, just kick it as hard as you can.
Exactly.
Just right through. Don't worry about it.
Just kick it through the uprights. There you go.
I don't even think it has to go through the uprights, does it?
I think it just has to go through the end zone.
Yeah, it just has to. You can just kick it beyond the end zone, and it's a point.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada, indeed.
On Canada Day weekend, what better time to have that topic of conversation come up on this broadcast?
Salazzo goes around on that what Jeff Rose says he did, and Ben Abrams has the second strikeout of the night. Cardinals get a run here to cut the lead in half. We're going to take a quick pause and say hello to our friends at Armstrong Birdseed.
Sometimes the littlest things can make the biggest difference. Like nature. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong Bird Food. Feeding Cardinals since 1986.
Top of the third inning here on Cable 14. Neil Shrewasco and Matt Creeley on the call with you. And it's my favorite part of the night, and I just hope there's no injuries, no scraped knees, no nothing. We don't want any broken bones either. First day of summer officially as the kids are out of school now, and they're running the bases in droves once again.
Yeah, can you tell it was their last day of school today, Neil?
Oh, yeah. You can definitely see it just by the energy levels and everything else. Yesterday, of course, in Guelph and everything else, that was yesterday. A lot of goodbyes, a lot of crying going on in Jenny's classroom yesterday. She apparently walked in just after they had the slideshow presentation. The whole class was crying. I'm just like grade 1s and 2s, and I'm like, what did you do? What was in this slideshow? Just like she has no idea because she didn't see it. She was in another classroom, and then she walks in and they're all crying, so she's handing out Kleenexes to these poor little kids.
Oh, bless their hearts.
Yeah. They're just so sad to be parting ways for each other from the summertime. I get it. I was in those shoes at some point, but yeah, it was many years ago. But still, I don't remember crying about it. I know I was upset and everything else, but didn't cry about it. But I get it.
Well, for about as long as I can remember, the start of summer has been a happy occasion, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, usually in my case, about this time, it was like, okay, now we got to get ready for baseball camp or baseball schools or something, as far as when we were with the Royals and doing various other things. So, you know, we were very fortunate to have some very, very talented baseball players go through the system when I was a member of the camps and everything else. A member of the IBL top 100 list, Frankie Hare, was in camp my first year. And then I coached him in high school, and he was the first one to practice, last one to leave, and always wanted more fungos. So he was just, you could tell Frankie was a gamer back then even.
Well, for the love of the game.
Yep. As Jonah Weiser is going to lead things off, he got hit by the pitch his first time up. 2-1 to score here is the Jackfish leading this one. Getting a pair of runs in the second inning on the 2 RBI single by Brandon Luther. Tyler Duncan answered back as Weiser hits this one up the middle. Tommy Reyes Cruz won't even get a chance to get to that one. And it'll be Duncan who retrieves it in center field. Weiser's on to start the third inning here with a single.
Well, the Cardinals flirting with fire once again by giving a base runner to Robert Mullen here.
Not a guy you want coming up with the base, anybody on base at all. If you're going to have to go after Mullen here, you want to do it with the bases empty. That's for sure. Now you got to be very selective about how you pitch to him again. He did strike out his first time.
Yeah. Yeah, Saldana did win that match at the first time. You are right. He homered yesterday, but the first couple at-bats, you could very obviously tell that Frazie's Adamas had done his homework. He wanted nothing to do with Mullen.
To do at all, though.
The unintentional, intentional walk, as we say, happened a couple times.
Yep. So that was 0-1 offering. Is swung on and missed by Mullen for strike 2. And I'm also wondering if Mullen's sitting there baiting these guys and, okay, I'm going to take a half-hearted swing at one of these things. Maybe he'll throw me another one. I'm going to groove over the plate here and hit the mistake. The Panamanian Devil, who knows? He chops this one at third base. Salazzo's up with it, throws to second for the force out. On to first in time. A 5-4-3 double play, and there's 2 away here.
Now we know how to retire Robert Mullen.
Yep.
Just have one of his former teammates and countrymen pitch against him.
Exactly. Team Panama wins again. 2 away now for Grayson Barrett, who singled in and came home to run on the score in the second inning.
It's just nice to know Robert Mullen's human, and we don't
Yeah.
have some baseball-crazed robot tormenting this league.
Yeah, well, it's also nice. It's still early in this game, and we're not out of the woods yet. Mullen's going to come up a couple more times for sure. So
No, we are not. Absolutely not. But strikeout and ground ball double play. Saldana's got to be feeling good about that start head-to-head.
You know, it's like Yarmer Yager on the ice against Team Canada here. You just kind of breathe a little easier when he doesn't have the puck.
Yep.
This one is chopped by Barrett. A great stop by Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Flips to Saldana in time. A 4-1 is your putout, and the Cardinals get out of the inning unscathed. Great stop by Tommy Reyes-Cruz when Miko Kakatos was unable to get to that baseball. Tommy picked him up, and Saldana was able to get over and cover the base in time. And we're out of the inning. The Jackfish will take the field now as you watch it on replay here. A high chopper.
Great show of coordination on both sides. The wherewithal by Reyes-Cruz to, as he's thrown across his body, moving to his left to not airmail it, and Saldana is there just in time to cover. Great effort, too, by Nico Kakatos to try and spear the ball, and that's why Saldana's got to get over there and cover. He's taking his sweet time walking off the field here, hopefully not injured, just catching his breath.
Oh, yeah, probably just, you know, it's a long run from the pitcher's mound over there to get over in time. But he got over in time and got the out. Now it's up to Ben Abrams and the Jackfish to go working on defense against these Cardinals, who find themselves down by a run here in the home half of the third inning. Scoring on that last play, of course, is 4-1 if you're scoring at home. And Robert Mullen grounds out into the 5-4-3 double play after Wisner led off the inning with a single.
Tommy Reyes-Cruz can't celebrate too long about that nice play. He's got to lead this inning off for the Cardinals. 9-1-2 due up for Hamilton.
It's funny how that usually happens. You know, the guy makes a great play and he's the next batter up too afterwards. So hopefully it just keeps rubbing off on him and some more positive energy across at the diamond here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's always when you're due up next that the highlight reel plays seem to come.
Yep.
Talk about the anomaly of Ben Abrams starting on the road, and the schedule's just lined up this way. He made his first road appearance a month into the season, his 4th appearance overall on the road in Barrie. And dating back to the start of 2024, he was pitched on the road just 7 times, including tonight.
Yep. It's like I said, it's a very rare thing. Usually it's either your Thursday night starter or your Saturday night just before the fireworks starter. But Tommy Reyes-Cruz be looking to light some fireworks off of his own here against Abrams as the Cardinals trail by a run here. First offering from Abrams is swung on and missed by Reyes-Cruz. Looks like he got a foul tip into the glove there for strike 1.
Yeah, that slider down and into the lefties has been working for Abrams so far. He got Salazzo to chase at 10 last inning, and he got Reyes-Cruz to chase it to start this one.
And he did.
And, of course, that's not the only breaking ball he has, as you saw the old Uncle Charlie there. Big, loopy curveball.
Yep. Josh Garton seen that big, loopy curveball in his dreams.
Yeah. He's not the only one.
Two 2-1 is the count now. On Reyes-Cruz, the Montrealer, and former London Major. So glad we picked this guy up. Watches that one, but it's on the other half and called a strike by the plate umpire, Jeff Rose.
Yeah, Reyes-Cruz had that leadoff walk in the top of the 6th inning, a 7-pitch walk off Jose Dominguez that ended up starting the big rally for Hamilton. He's doing the little things right.
Big swing and a miss, and Reyes-Cruz is retired here. The 3rd punch out of the contest for Ben Abrams. And back to the top of the order for Yoki Pena, who led off the ballgame with a single in the first inning. 1 for 1.
Yeah, the Eggman, as we affectionately call him around these parts. I'm not sure how popular that nickname is in the dugout, but we like to use it up here in the press box.
It gets used, and of course,
Just
I
writes itself.
gotta find out who this Hamilton fan is on Instagram. It's got all the crazy ChatGPT stuff and everything else.
That is the mystery of the summer.
I've been trying to figure that out since day one, and of course, Josh adamantly denies it. Eric's adamantly denies it's not them. So I'm like, I'm running out of options here. I'm about ready to call Robert Stack and hire Unsolved Mysteries or something.
Yeah, we're going to need all units on this case.
Yeah. But I love this stuff. I love waking up to it. I just love it. It's so much. I don't know. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And he was pretty much echoing my sentiments last night during that ball game, the ninth inning.
Yeah.
I was like, because, I can't pace for on the broadcast, so I was pacing around my house last night because, it's just, I'm watching it, doing notes and everything else and watching the other game, but I'm just like, Jenny's like going, is that game over yet? I'm like, no. Well, get out of the bedroom and go back to the office. Because I was driving her up the wall.
Can a man not pace and stress these days while watching baseball?
Apparently not, because I didn't do it last year at all. I don't know. When Fernando got fired up, I got fired up. I don't know.
That's infectious energy. When the 17-year big league veteran gets fired up, so do you. Doesn't matter where you're watching from.
Yeah. I didn't have Luis Bernardo to calm me down like he did.
Yeah.
This one's popped in the air by Pena. And Porcelado has a beat on it. He'll make the catch. And there's 2 away on the F5. But yeah, I don't ever recall seeing Fernando get that animated.
No, he had a bone to pick, and you think a guy who's so stoic most of the time, when he does get animated, you kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's just like, okay, he wouldn't be reacting this way if he didn't feel in his heart of hearts that he was right, because he never does.
Like he was pleading his case. He walked away, and he came back and pleaded his case again. I was just like, okay, yeah, somebody better go get him.
Yeah. And that, again, is just a testament to the leadership qualities of Luis Bernardo. Fernando's a 17-year big league veteran. Again, he has a slow heartbeat in these situations. He doesn't need anybody to tell him to calm down. But Luis Bernardo coming all the way over from the catcher's spot and ushering him back to the mound, telling him, hey, man, focus.
Yeah.
It's just the little things like that, the intangibles that make Bernardo such a valuable part of this Cardinals lineup. And it goes way beyond his bat or his glove.
And now, if there was any doubt in anybody's mind that Fernando Rodney wasn't here to win after that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? I said to myself when I went to bed, like, he wants it as bad as everybody else on this team wants it right now.
Yeah, and that should fire everyone around him up, too. I'm sure the team got a kick out of that.
I'm sure there's going to be a huge kangaroo court fine for it at some point.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what the fine is, but
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
No, but, I'm willing to throw $5 in its defense fund. Who is the judge on the kangaroo court for these guys anyways? I'm curious now. It's because Tatos works with a 2-2 count with 2 away here. Of course, make sure you're turning into the IBL website tomorrow. There's a great feature on Nico Kakatos by Carlos Verde on the check swing article of the week. A great read. As Kakatos, speak of the devil, hits another baseball into right field, and the Cardinals have got signs of life here with 2 away. And Brandon Nickel coming to the plate.
And Nickel looking for redemption after grounding into that double play. It was an unfortunately timed hard ground ball last time he was up. And as for Nico Kakatos, he's just doing what he does best. Line drives the other way. When he's on, that's what he does, and did it again right there. Fastball down and away. He's not going to try and get too extended and pull it and pop it up. No, he knows exactly what to do with that thing, and trying to start a 2-out rally for the Cardinals here.
And, to Nicklaus' credit, if they weren't at double play depth, he probably has another foot on that, and probably, I don't know if Porcelado makes that be able to turn the double play on that pitch.
Yeah. Nickel had a decent little stretch of games going there. He had 5 hits, 4 extra base hits, 2 homers against the Maple Leafs on Wednesday, but that streak was snapped as he struck out twice and went hitless yesterday at Welland.
Throw over the first, and Kato's back in safely at first base. Check swing, appealed down to first. He did not go around. And Nichols has a 1-1 count on him.
Yeah, Robert Mullen not letting anything slip through the cracks here. He's very eager to call for those appeals.
And he is. Plus, with a runner at first, you got to be very mindful that when Mullen likes to throw the back pick down at first as well. That's why Marchese is at first. They almost did there.
Right there, yeah. Keeping the runners and the umpires on their toes.
So the count runs to 2-1 now with 2 away. That one's in there for a called strike, evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, with 2 outs, Kikatos is still getting a pretty decent lead down there.
Probably stretch a little bit more if it goes to 3-2 for sure, because he wants to be in motion when Abrams goes to the plate.
And we'll see if he's thinking about it.
Nichols holds off on that one, and now it is a full count, as that one almost goes sailing over Big Ben there.
Yeah. Kikatos doesn't even have a steal attempt on the season yet, but he's clearly in the minds of these Welland fielders. Of course, the point is moot now with a full count and 2 outs. He'll be running anyways.
Now, was it his brother Mateo that used to be the pitcher? That was what I meant to ask him. I didn't get a chance to yet.
Who, Nico?
Yeah. Or are they just relatives?
Don't remember.
As a grounded ball across the diamond, 5-3 goes the putout. Nichols retired. As the Cardinals strand a base runner here in the home half of the 3rd inning and trail the Welland Jackfish 2-1 here on Cable 14. Top of the 4th inning here at Bernie Arbor Stadium, a 2-1 score in favor of the Welland Jackfish. Neil Srivastava, Matt Creeley on the call with you on Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Thank you so much for tuning in. As the Welland Jackfish will come to bat, start the 4th inning. The 6th batter now. Mateo Porcelato will be the bat leading off. Porcelato struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Out-of-town scoreboard, London Majors up 4-0 on the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Victor Payano and Matsuki Akatsuka, the pitchers in that contest. At Dominico Field, 2-1 is the score. The Maple Leafs leading the Guelph Royals on Friday Night Baseball. Their 2nd attempt at Friday Night Baseball. Of course, that first one between the Royals and Maple Leafs was a slugfest.
Yeah, that's definitely the simple way to put it. There's chaos in that game from start to finish.
3 grand slams in that contest last time. I think they've been told to tone it down a little bit. That one misses for a ball, and the count quickly 2-0 from Saldana on Porcelato here.
Porcelato is one of the many Jackfish. Threatening lefty hitter from BC. He had an outstanding college career at Marion in the NAIA. 354 hitter across 2 seasons. Got that OPS up over 1,000.
This one's popped in the air, and it's going to fall in front of Duncan. And the leadoff man will be aboard here to start the 4th inning. Wasn't solid contact, but it was contact enough to get the ball in the air there, and it's going to drop in for a single in front of Duncan. And Austin Gomley, the batter, he singled and scored a run in the 2nd inning.
And we talked about the threat that Porcelato is on the base paths, and it means that much more when you're as good of a hitter as he is.
He is.
See if the Cardinals can handle it. Well, there you go.
Wild pitch is scored there, and well, that takes away that stolen base. Well, Porcelato's thinking about 3rd here as Bernardo had to get that baseball. And thanks to Gary Mito for the message a couple minutes ago. We missed you at the ballpark, Gary. I'm glad the colonoscopy went okay. But yes, he's the scorer for the Jackfish. Totes around the scorebook everywhere they go. But glad everything went okay. We'll catch up soon, I'm sure. 1-0 the count now. Saldana has a runner back and look at second base. And that one misses outside. Austin gone, the count 2-0.
Saldana yanked the first 2 pitches to start this at-bat. The first one going wild, and the second one would have had Bernardo not jumped in front of it.
Something's definitely thrown him off the ribbon here in this inning. His 2-0 offering. Misses low again. It's now 3-0. On Gom.
Yeah, you've got the base open, but Porcelato's hard to double off from any direction. And again, it is the bottom of the order, but I wouldn't want to take my chances with Marchese or Luther for that matter.
No, you don't. Well, 2 guys that can definitely hit the baseball with some authority.
Even if you can get through them unscathed, then it's right back to the top of the order for the 3rd time.
Yeah. That one's in there for a called strike. Makes the count 3-1 as Saldana trying to battle back here in this at-bat.
Just goes to show you that there isn't an easy out anywhere you look in this Jackfish lineup, and that makes what Frazie's Adamas and company did yesterday all that more impressive.
Here's the 3-1 offering. This is in there, it's in there for a called strike, and the count is 3-2. Saldana's 3-2 offering is chopped high. Salazzo fields it, throws across the diamond. They'll get the edit first. Porcelato holds at second, and there's one away here in the 4th inning.
Great bounce back work there by Saldana. He fell behind 3-0. None of them were particularly close, but he executes a couple pitches with pinpoint command and then gets him to beat a breaking ball into the ground on 3-2. Salazzo with a throw across the diamond, and an added bonus, Porcelato stays right where he is at second.
Yep. Sometimes you can catch a younger man getting caught off base there when we're trying to break for third before the third baseman comes down with that baseball, but Porcelato wisely holding at second base there.
He's fast and he's also smart on the bases too.
That one misses inside on Marchese for ball 1. Also got to say hello to our friend Michael Benoit, who loves to light up my Facebook DMs with voice messages, and I love chatting with him. Very insightful fan. That one's in there for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Saldana gets a sign for Bernardo. His 1-1 offering. Misses upstairs for a ball, 2-1 the count. Bernardo tried to pull that one back down a little bit, but Jeff Rose wasn't biting on it, and it's 2-1.
We talk about the power that Marchese brings. That home run he hit here in Burnie Arbor in the 2nd game of the season is still the only one he's got to this day on the year. It's been a little bit all or nothing for him. Hitting a $179 coming into play here tonight.
That one misses inside. 3-1 now the count. Saldana looked like he didn't finish that pitch off the way he wanted to. Has he got a gold shiny belt out there, or just this weird reflection off the back there?
No, I think it is a gold belt.
Okay.
We saw it last time too. That's one way to make your presence felt.
I just saw the weird reflection. I was like, wait, are my eyes playing tricks on me or something? So you see a big look at Porcelato at second base here. As he waits for
bored. Cardinals might want to watch that.
There he goes on the pitch. You tip them off. Bernardo throws down, and there you got him on the tag. And I think Salazzo and
that was a bit of an odd one there. He was indeed bored and looking to run. And just the way that Salazzo came across the bag there to receive that throw, it was a...
Yeah.
You're going to see it right now. Down and away, Bernardo, from the seat of his pants, throws down there. Salazzo right in the...
He almost like he slid into him, and he just had no choice but to tag him. I'm sure they'll joke about that one later on, but not right now. But there's now 2 away now, and a runner at first.
So lost and all that, of course. Marchese draws the walk, so it's a big out for Hamilton there.
2-5 on the caught stealing, and Marchese does draw the walk. Saldana looks to go back to work here against Brandon Luther, who has the 2 RBIs in the contest so far for the Jackfish, the difference in the contest. It's a liner to the shortstop. Great stop by Nickel. Long throw in time. Put that one on the board. Wow.
Take a bow, Brandon Nickel. Now take a look at this. This ball was rocketed off the bat of Luther. Middle down, he gave it a ride, but Nickel, backhand spear, and then the
missile across the diamond.
Oh. That's how you play short.
That's how you play shortstop, indeed. And as we're going to mention about Brandon Luther, he's a great young man, and he's also a graphic designer, and I definitely want to pick his brain. I was given his contact information. Apologies, I haven't reached out to you yet, Brandon. The week got away from me this week, so it's on my list of things to do tomorrow, so I'll slide you a message tomorrow. We'll hopefully get you on to chat soon.
Man, that'll be a podcast episode I'll have to tune into if we ever have it happen. It's always fun when multiple interests align. So you and Mr. Luther can talk about graphics and baseball. That'll be a fun one.
And the crews are getting shot up. And there he goes. And Lauren's on the camera there. She has to put up here to turn their horse and everything else. And of course, we have our counterpart to our left as well here. And it's great to see them doing a great job. And the Cable 14 crew always makes this look so good.
If you have a winning ticket, bring it down to the game crew tent.
And you find it way out in center field. And you see Alistair running down the line here as well. And we got camera 5, Alistair picking up the other camera down the line here as well. They're all being camera shy. Come on, guys, have some fun out here. Have some fun. It's great to see you guys.
Alistair running around with that camera again. Now that it's not 45 degrees outside.
Yeah, poor guy was going to melt on Sunday, but we all were. Thankfully, we wisely told him to take the afternoon off and stay in the shade. As he's going now, he's going the wide away over there. There's where the center fielders are waving at us. We got to wave back to them as they're having fun. And there's Carmen having some fun down the line too. And congratulations on her first year anniversary as well. As Josh Williams will start things off in the home half of the 4th inning, the Cardinals down 2-1 here on Cable 14. I'm Neil Sherwasso. Matt Creeley, my counterpart. Reed Duffy is recovering from dental surgery, and hopefully that's going well for him.
That doesn't sound like fun, but...
No, it definitely wasn't. But everything was going well.
And all the best, of course, to Reed and his recovery. Hope you're watching from home.
Yep. As my phone is blowing up once again by he who will not be named. But yes, always great to have you chiming in during the Jackfish games.
You got so many people talking to you during the broadcast, some of them got to go undercover.
As William takes a big hack at that one from Abrams, and the count's now 1-2 here. Nobody away to start the 4th inning. All the scoring done in the 2nd inning. 2 runs across off the bat of Brendan Luther for the Jackfish, and then Tyler Duncan dives back in with a solo blast to answer back for the Cardinals. As Williams hits a liner down the first baseline. Flip to Abrams covering, and Williams is retired. 3-1 will go your putout, 1 away here to start the inning.
Stepping up to the plate, the right fielder, number 30, Carlos Dominguez.
As we welcome you up into the press box here at Bernie Arbor Stadium, Neil Schwartzberg, that's Matt Creeley. Thanks for tuning in on Cable 14, and Carlos Dominguez is at the plate now.
I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Shout out to the great crew here at Cable 14 behind these broadcasts every Friday and some Sundays.
As Dominguez takes a big swing and a miss on that first offering from Abrams on the other half for strike one. Nice. And congratulations to Hamilton's own Matthew Schaefer, who went first overall to the New York Islanders.
Well, we got CFL, we got NHL draft night. It's all happening all at once here.
Yep. Friday nights are all right on Cable 14. Dominguez tries to hold back the swing, but Jeff Rose said he went around far enough. And the count is 2-2.
I couldn't really tell there, but it looked like that one was on the swing.
Brenda's got the CFL score for us as well.
Yeah, for our O Canada weekend, it's 4-1. It sounds more like a hockey score.
More like a hockey score. Jeez, 4-1.
I was hoping that was going to be more of a football score there, Brendan. But
it hasn't even totaled a touchdown yet.
No, it hasn't.
And that's not even a touchdown with the extra point.
Are they going to need a GoFundMe to get a touchdown in that game? Like what? Come on.
5 total points in the first half. It's about the 2-minute warning.
Oh, man.
Well, 3-minute warning.
Are they at least cheering boring, yelling boring or something? Or somebody do something?
1-1, 4-1. I'm just going to assume they're playing hockey until someone tells me otherwise.
Or soccer or something. Hey, Lauren, what's the final score on that football game going to be? 7-6. Oh, wow.
Well, now I kind of want to see it. It started off 1-1. It's now 4-1. Let's get weird here.
Let's get weird. We got to make sure Emily Thompson can't hear us talking about football like this, because then she's going to come up here with the official rule book and, school us on it.
Oh.
Like, it's, Lauren's not far off. It's now 7-4. So there you go.
A couple more of those kicks that don't have to go through the uprights, and we're set.
Yep. As Dominguez hits this one in the air, and it's going to drop in past the shortstop. Weisner gave it the college try out there, but unfortunately, that one's going to go in there for a base hit, and Dominguez is aboard with one away here.
Fantastic mechanics here by Carlos Dominguez. Once again, Abram trying to make him uncomfortable with a fastball up and in. And he is up to the task. He gets the bat head up there and flares it into left center. Putting a man on for Tyler Duncan, who absolutely clubbed one his last time up.
It even just sounded loud off the bat. Like we were talking in conversation. It was like, wow, okay, yeah, we're going to be quiet now because Tyler just hit a missile.
My eyes could have been closed and I would have known that one was going.
Some guys you can just know. That was one of them. And they're definitely pitching around him again.
Well, that was brave of Abram because that was roughly where the pitch he hit out was. But Duncan wanted to play a little bit more like a chess match here and take strike one.
One offering. Duncan hits this one to left field. That's going to stay in the yard this time. Left fielder will make the catch. Duncan retired, 2 away now. That one just hung on the air a little too long.
Abram got away with one there, and he knows it. Duncan scalded it once again, but this time right at Grayson Barrett.
And I bring up Luis Bernardo, who flew out to the shortstop his last time up. Two away in the Cardinals' 4th inning. They're down by a run. Dominguez goes on the pitch. Mullins' throw is going to be wide, and that's a stolen base for Dominguez.
Well, the hit and run was probably on there. I'm going to assume that based off Bernardo's decision to swing at that one.
Yep.
But stolen base nonetheless for Dominguez.
And now Dominguez is shaking out a poundful of dirt out of his shorts here. and front. There we go.
So you want to play this game hard, you're going to have to get dirty to do it.
Poor McFly is going to have to spend all night cleaning his jerseys again. I'm going to have to ask him, does he have a power washer down there, or is it just like an industrial-sized washing machine?
I tell you, that guy is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He puts his heart and soul into this team, making sure these guys have what they need.
He does.
One of the best there is. Tio, as he's called by the many Dominicans on the team.
Well, I'm going to have to start calling him Tio then, too.
I already have.
A big hack on that when Bernardo goes around. That's another punch out for Abrams. Cardinals trying a base runner at second base here to end the fourth inning. 2-1 is your score here on Cable 14. And we're going down to live. Emily Thompson has one of their activations here. Looks like the failed tire race today.
Hello, Cardinal fans. Thank you so much for watching on Cable 14. We can't wait to get you here at Bernie Arbor so you can enjoy all the fun. We're getting ready to do the McPhail Auto Tire Race. I have Hayden and Tyson here, and we're getting ready to rock and roll. And P.S. Hi, Mom and Dad. Here we go, boys. You ready to rock? 1, 2, 3, go! Let's go, Hayden and Tyson! Keep it moving! All the way back to me! All the way back! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, this is close! This is close! Oh, Tyson, you are the winner! Congratulations! Thank you again, fans, for watching on Cable 14. Go, Cards, go! You don't want to miss this energy.
Leave it to Emily to make us feel bad about not saying hi to Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Getting her yucks in there.
Yeah. Well, happy belated hi to Mom. I know you've been going through a really rough week at what you've been going through and everything else. So hopefully everything is turning the page. I know you started radiation on Monday, and things are hopefully okay. The potassium levels look like they were okay too. So know you're in our thoughts. I'll give you a call in the morning tomorrow and check in on with you. But I know you're watching at home on the interwebs as you do from Elmira.
And I'm sure it's making her feel that much better to hear her son's voice on the broadcast tonight, Mr. IBL himself.
You're too kind, sir. You're too kind. We got the top of the order coming up for the Jackfish in the fifth inning, who are leading this one 2-1. Boucher, Morello, and Jonah Weisner will be facing Enrique Saldana, who has definitely settled into a little bit of more of a groove here as the game has gone on. Pierre-Olivier Boucher will lead things off. The right fielder's 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up and flew out to right field in the first inning.
It looked like Boucher was going to make some noise in his very first IBL at bat. Frazie's Adamas left one over the plate in the bottom of the first inning, but he got just under it, flying out to Carlos Dominguez, just a few feet in front of the track out there in Welland.
Yep. 45 seconds left in the first half. It's 8-4 at Tim Hortons Field. So I guess Lauren's off the book as far as the score prediction. But 8-4. Oh, it's now Hamilton Stadium. Apparently, I thought it was Tim Hortons Stadium. The signs still say, don't they? Yeah. Yeah. As 1 and 2 the count now.
Wouldn't want it to anger any sponsors or non-sponsors here with the naming rights.
No, we don't want to do that. I do want to get a coffee on Friday or Monday next one.
Yeah.
As he hits this one into right center field or left center field. It goes off the glass sign, and Boucher's got his first extra base hit tonight. A leadoff double to start the fifth inning.
And Boucher with his first extra base hit of his IBL tenure, I believe. His one hit yesterday was a single. Showing off the Oppo power here. Gets a 2-strike elevated fastball. Gets his arms extended to it and shoots it over the head of Yoki Pena. Right off the base of the wall. Shout out to one of our fine sponsors, Optoglass.
Should definitely send them their number to that poor guy in Kitchener who got the windshield smashed the other night. So they're trying to put some light on the situation there, and one came on, but the rest of them didn't.
Yeah, we've been in this press box a long time, but believe us, it is still hard to know what light switches do what. Ooh.
That one went off. Bernardo went in.
Clearly Morello, too.
Yes. Huh. Ball will be called dead. Runner will have to go back to second base.
Yeah, if there's the Cardinals can take something good away from that. It's that the dead ball keeps the force out at any base in order.
Yeah, but they always dangerous. Jonah Weisner now will be the batter. He's 1 for 1 and also been hit by a pitch so far. As their activity is starting down in the Cardinals bullpen in a little bit of a hurry. Is that Corbin Peters getting loose?
Yes, it is.
So that crosses him off for Sunday's potential starter then. Or does it?
Well, you never want to assume too much, but you would think, right?
Yeah. Weiser bunts one here. Saldana up with it. He's going to flip to third, and it's going to get away from Salazzo, and that's going to allow 2 runs to come across here. And the Jackfish lead this one 4-1 as the ball's thrown back across the infield again on the way back in.
And we'll have to see what happened on this throw here as Saldana did a good job to get to that one.
I think the throw was just wide.
Nice bunt by Weisner, too, by the way. He threw it and...
Yeah, throw was just wide.
Yeah.
Throw was wide, and Salazzo couldn't come off the bag, so he was trying to hold it there to get the force out. I think he gave him the sack and an E1. And there we go. We'll have to wait and see how Nate, the score god's behind to score it. But
I don't envy Nate for having to figure this one out, that's for sure.
I think it's the error on the pitcher, on the throw. So it is a sack E1. Allows 2 runs to come across. And Robert Mullen has ball 1 count here, and it's 4-1 is the score now. So Jackfish increasing their lead now, and Saldana really needs an out now. That one misses outside to Mullen, count 2-0.
Sack E1, that's another anomaly for the scorebook there. We had some weird ones in the game yesterday night between the Cardinals and Jackfish.
He did. You had a batter's interference call.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever seen that, at least in the IBL.
Seen catcher's interference, but never usually batter.
Nobody's going to be happy either way that call goes. But
nope.
The ball was a lot farther in front of Luis Bernardo than he thought, and he made a beeline for it, and then
unfortunately ran right through the batter at the plate.
Yep. Poor Brandon Hoope got bulldozed and then was called out for it.
Yep. That's a ball for unintentional walk to Robert Mullen. That'll put runners at first and second now with still nobody away in the inning.
You can read between the lines there. Probably best not to tempt fate there with Robert Mullen as the base open at first, and now Luis Bernardo out for a mound visit.
Yep. Probably just, hey, take a deep breath here. Let's regroup here. Let's get a ground ball, get focused back up here, and try to work our way out of this one. Minimize the damage. It is officially 8-4 at halftime, just up the road, at whatever they call the stadium in Hamilton.
and now it sounds like they're playing baseball.
Yeah.
8-4. Too late. We already got baseball here at Bernie Arbor.
Yep. As that one's bunted foul by Barrett for strike 1.
And Grayson Barrett wouldn't be my first choice to bunt in this Welland lineup, but hey, they saw what happened last time they did it, trying to cause chaos again.
Yeah.
Productive chaos, of course, for the Jackfish is the last bunt attempt. An error later, and 2 runs came across. All he was trying to do was advance them.
And, you know, sometimes when you're not as a team collectively hitting the baseball well, you got to try something different. I see Barrett takes into that one and he hits a liner down the line into the Jackfish bullpen.
And we talk about this Welland lineup. They have indeed been scuffling. They've lost 3 in a row, but the offensive drought goes beyond that because their last win, the score was only 1-0.
Yep. Remind you, when you're to the Jackfish, you're not seeing everybody else's. You're not seeing the 3 and 4 starters either. You're just seeing 1 and 2, number 1 and probably number 2 in the rotations. As Barrett lines in this one into the gap in right field, and Dominguez is not going to get that one. And he looks like he hurt himself running to the fence a little bit. Another run will come home, and it's now 5-1 for the Jackfish here in the top of the 5th inning. An RBI double for Grayson Barrett, and Mullen goes to third on it. Wisner comes home to score.
And it was only going to be a matter of time, I think, before that happened because Saldana kept pitching Barrett down, and the pitch before, he roped one just to the right of the chalk down the first baseline, and he decided to go down slightly in again, and this time Barrett was able to keep it fair.
Indeed he was.
It's a long jog out there to right field. Obviously, you want to be sympathetic to Dominguez, not want to make him have to move around too much out there if he is hurt.
Well, he ran into that metal fence out there pretty heavily.
It was a fantastic effort. You love to see the heart and hustle from the Cardinal outfielders, sacrificing their body to try and get to that one, but right into that old rusty fence out there. The banner covering it isn't going to do much.
Nope.
Of course, we saw last Sunday here when the Maple Leafs were in town, Dennis DeBanning crashed into the fence post out in left field.
Yep.
He was his rib cage that was getting checked on, but
Big round of applause for Carlos Dominguez.
He was fine, and it looks like Dominguez is too.
Yep. Now Carlos is going to take the long walk back around. We really got to get these guys golf carts. They probably make this a little faster.
Take a page out of the Washington Nationals book there.
And then we're going to take this opportunity here to have a pitching change as looks like Corbin Peters is going to take over for Enrique Saldana on this opportunity here. Saldana is, of course, responsible for the 2 runners on the base paths here at second and third, respectively. So what was the plan originally for Sunday anyways? Was it supposed to be Peters, or is it still to be determined?
You are asking the wrong guy, my friend.
I thought you would have had the inside scoop on that one.
Well, hey, pitching plans can change on a dime. Corbin Peters is now into the game in relief. He made the spot start last Sunday, so we thought it might be him again as the Cardinals had their yet another week of 4 games. But either they're going to keep him in for a very short time or it'll be somebody else on Sunday as we're going to get a look at the Cable 14 truck right now.
You know, I've never actually been in that truck yet. There we go. There's the truck, guys. Everybody's way
quite
big
possibly
waves.
Our youngest volunteer ever.
Nice.
Sure, but come around this way. Right over here, youngest volunteer ever.
Wow. We're out of jobs in a couple years. You know that, right, Matt?
We have a few guests in the truck right now. That's all.
Oh. Yep, they're pushing all the buttons now. Hopefully we didn't go off the air.
I'm gonna be out of a job soon.
Yeah, we all are.
Awesome. Now, it takes an army to bring you to this broadcast on Friday night, and we're absolutely blessed with some of the best in the business, that's for sure. And of course, Corbin Peters is on the hill now. So, as Matt mentioned off the top there, he made a spot start, but primarily used in the relief role. And of course, got to shout the guys out here. Of course, Jono hooking us up, of course, with the lovely sweatshirt, which I'm going to have to hide from Jenny. I'm going to have to wear this in my office or something just for the time being. To going to show the patch, the C14 patch as well. And of course, the merch shop is, I'm not sure if it's up and running yet, but it's going to be up and running very soon. So you guys can get your own stuff very soon on Cable 14 as well. So you can get the cool, just be like the cool kids like us, have a sweatshirt of your own with Cable 14. There's the patch again, of course, on the arms. Coming soon in a merch shop near you. And I see Jenny just popped her head around the booth saying, I'm going to have to hide that now. Or it's going to wind up like every other sweatshirt in the house. Not mine. Corbin Peters in a little mop-up duty here in the 5th inning. Jackfish striking for 3 to make it a 5-1 ball game now. Mr. Wasp and Matt Creeley on the call here on Cable 14. If you're just tuning us. It's a close ball game till this inning when the Jackfish bats have erupted here. Infield in a double on the corners here, just trying to knock the run down now. This one's popped high in the air, but it's going to go foul. And then a play by Porcelato. And off the top of the roof. Doesn't happen too often here, but right off the roof here. A loud thud.
Behold, we have hail on Canada Day weekend.
Yep.
Just for a second.
We're going to have to ask our friends at Rawlings for those gloves. They keep meaning to get them to come up and do a product demo up here. We're going to have to leave them up here for us next time.
I'm ready. It's got to happen. There's been too many close ones for it not to be happening soon.
Just don't wish it on us. Don't wish it on us. You never know. I don't want it to be like that Yankee Stadium incident where that poor gentleman got the baseball off the side of the head.
John Sterling, one of the most recognizable radio broadcast voices in baseball, recently retired. Congrats to him, of course, on the very long career. He took a foul ball right off the forehead.
Yep.
And that's just dumb luck in a major league game, how big those stadiums are and how precisely you got to hit to get it into a press box, let alone
Porcelato lines this one into the gap, and that's going to be trouble here. That's going to score 2 more. Jackfish make it 7-1 as Porcelato will stop at second with a 2 RBI double. Just a great piece of hitting by Mateo Porcelato on that at bat there, and he deposited it where they ain't. That's for sure.
And Corbin Peters has had a great season, but Porcelato not letting him get comfortable here. He sees the pitch he likes, a fastball middle away. He's got both the contact and the power ability to drive that one from gap to gap. And Welland's putting up some crooked numbers now in this one.
That they are. And this is what we were worried about off the air this evening. It was just, coming into this ball game. The Jackfish haven't lost 4 in a row ever. At least not to our knowledge.
Yeah, and we talked about it right off the rip, right? Like, it was good on the Cardinals for doing what they had to do yesterday, going in there and stealing one from Welland. But the longer that these guys keep losing and not putting up numbers offensively, the more motivated they will be to do so.
Oh, you just tell them batting practice. They were hitting everything loud and hard.
Yeah, you do not want to mess with this team when they're locked in at the plate. That's for sure. They got off to such a scorching start. Their run differential was exponentially higher than everybody else's not too long ago.
Yep.
Put up a 23 spot against Kitchener, for crying out loud.
That they did. And they weren't even trying to run up the score.
Oh, Jack Couch.
This one's lined at Tommy Reyes Cruz. He'll make the first out of the inning. As Porcelato scampers back to second base, 1 away now. As Austin Gaume hit a laser right at Tommy Reyes Cruz.
Well, we're just starting to get to know the other Gaume brother here, but I tell you what.
He's impressive.
He's had some good at-bats and good swings today. And again, they bat from the opposite side of the plate, but Peters with the middle-away fastball there, just like the one that Porcelato drove to the alley. And
so now begs the question, is there a third Gaume somewhere down in the system or somewhere out there? I don't know the Gaume family that well, so I'm sure they'll have to reach out through mutual parties or something to answer that question.
I do know they're from Mississauga, so shout out to my fellow Mississauga natives, the Gaumes. In addition, Tyson is a fellow Brock Badger.
That he is. Josh Marchese, who's walked 2 times, is at the batter now. He takes a ball 1 count here from Peters. That one's in there for a called strike. Evens the count 1-1. Just 1 away here in the Jackfish 5th inning. 5 runs across. As you can see, we definitely say the Fish has tipped the barrel here in this inning.
I am somewhat sympathetic to the fate of Enrique Saldana because the first 2 runs, that single from Brendan Luther, he did have some tough batted ball luck that inning. Made good pitches, and the results just weren't there, and that happens sometimes. And then they started this inning off with first and second, nobody out, and then was it Wisner lays the bunt down?
Yep.
And then all hell broke loose.
Pretty much. You can't give Jackfish any extra outs any time. That's for sure.
They always add up pretty quickly when you're playing against Welland. Just the margin for error is that much lower. And
that was a called strike, evens the count at 2-2.
And the Cardinals know that, right? Like, Adames made some great pitches yesterday to get out of trouble. Stephen Hospital was good in the 8th inning. Jacob Gadjic had a nice inning too. And Fernando Rodney escapes danger in the 9th, but a mistake here, a mistake there. You look up and there's 7 runs on the board.
And Rodney was, literally a strike away from getting out of that inning.
It was 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on.
Yep.
And then the bases were loaded.
Yeah, like Brandon Luther, you give him full props on that hit down the line. And an unfortunate mishop at first, and then Rodney gets animated, and the wheels almost looked like they came off the bus there. But they recovered and got out of it. As Mr. Marchese walks for the 3rd time in this contest.
And in that same vein, I am somewhat sympathetic to Peters too, going from relief to starting last Sunday, throwing 87 pitches back to relief here. But you got to make more competitive pitches in this spot. You come on and then the double, and then he got lucky with the line out there, but then pretty easy takes there from Marchese to get from ball 2 to ball 4. There's still only 1 gone in the inning. The Cardinals got to get off the field here and get the bats in their hands before this one gets really ugly.
They do. And Brandon Luther is 1 for 2 in the contest. He's got a single, 2 RBIs, and a ground out for 6-3. Of course, that was the star play in the 4th inning. On the stab by Brendan Nickel, and throw across the diamond. Allen misses inside from Peters, and the count runs to 2-0.
And Peters lucky he's not playing in Welland right now with the ball 4, ball 5 chance raining down from the crowd.
I almost thought they were in London last night with the ball flowers.
Okay, I am still relatively new to this league. Who started that? Who was first?
I want to say London.
Okay.
But I'm sure everybody else will argue otherwise.
Yeah.
Because, no, we started it. No, I'm pretty sure the ball flowers
I'm just asking out of curiosity. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm pretty sure, the official word will be the ball flowers, and the official recognition will go to the ball flowers. But we'll see. I'm waiting for my phone to light up by 3 different teams, but I realize they're all playing tonight, so it'll be tomorrow. As this one is lined by Luther into the center field pretty deep. And that one is going to be off the base of the fence, and Brandon Luther's got himself another 2 RBIs, or 1 RBI anyways. And it's an 8-1 ball game. So as you were saying about Brandon Luther atoning for last night's misgivings.
I was going to say, you think he's done that yet or what?
I think it's all forgiven now by the Jackfish faithful.
Peters again, the Jackfish must be seeing something or other because they are just all over that heater. That one was slightly down, but the fastball down in the strike zone is pretty much every lefty's wheelhouse. Luther does not miss it. Impressive power the other way. We've been talking about the contact for Luther this year. A lot of singles, a lot of bat on ball, but he's got pop too, and he showed it there.
I'm not sure if Marchese is hurt on that play or anything else, but he's definitely coming out there, and Brandon Hoope is going to be the pinch runner at third base.
That does look like one of their training staff.
Yep.
Hopefully nothing too bad there for Marchese. Another mound visit here for Luis Bernardo, his second one of the inning. There's still just 1 gone. It's not like there's a force or anything either right now.
No, exactly. We got runners at second and third, just a 1 away here. So
between Saldana and Peters, this is pitch number 31 coming up of the inning. There's still just 1 gone.
Yep.
It's been a long one.
It has been. This is your typical Welland Jackfish inning when they get the bats going. So no easy outs, that's for sure. And of course, you can't. You gave him another out at third base there, and that's what really started the downslide in the inning. Yes. And, of course, the he who will not be named, of course, I agree with him. Texas A&M started it way back when, but, yes, it was definitely the Ballflowers and the IBL who started it. At least that's what we're sticking to anyways, till we're told otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone has accurate historical knowledge on that, feel free to let us know, because it is quite the deal when you start hearing those rain down, especially from the visitors' perspective.
Yep. Well, 5,000 people in Father's Day in London when that started happening too. It was crazy. And then of course they only start at ball 5 is thrown. They don't stop till a strike is thrown though. And that one misses for another ball, and it's 2-1 here. Peters just looks like he's not able to find the strike zone with consistency tonight.
Yeah, and it's just the worst of both worlds here, right, for Peters, because he's not in the strike zone much, and when he is, it's hittable. The Jackfish are just setting themselves up for success here, and or is it Corbin setting himself up for failure? It depends which way you look at it, but hasn't been pretty. And again, he's been up to the task all year. It wasn't spectacular, but he did what he had to do in that spot start last week. But this has just not gone his way whatsoever, as Connor Corey's warming down there in the bullpen, and I
think that's probably going to be it for it. As Chris Piano's on his way out here for yet another pitching change. The bases are loaded now as the Jackfish bat around here in the 5th inning.
Big round of applause for Corbin Peters.
And Connor Corey will take over on the hill here. Not to be confused with the PGA golfer, which I'm glad he's able to make the jokes about too, because you know.
Yeah. They're swapped around too, eh?
Yeah.
The first and last names.
Yep. But yes, he's got the unfathomable task here, coming in with bases loaded and only one away in an inning where the Jackfish have definitely woken up. That's for sure.
Peters faces 5 batters there, and he gets just the 1 out, and it shouldn't have been an out either. Absolutely smoked by Austin Gom.
Yep.
We're now up to Connor Corey's first pitch will be number 37 of the half inning for the Cardinals, and that's just not a number you want to see.
No, it's not. This game was moving along swimmingly till this inning as well. That was for sure.
Even with the bumps in the road, Saldana had been setting a good pace, but
yep. That's all gone for naught now. As Nate chimes in behind us, at least the Blue Jays are winning, so that's a good thing.
Okay. It's a big stretch coming up for these Jays. It hasn't been that long in the grand scheme of things, but first time in a while they've had some meaningful ball at this point in the season. Yep. Big series win against Cleveland earlier this week. Boston for 3, and then the big bad Yankees for 4 over Canada Day, no less.
Yep. Of course, the Cardinals are off so the Cardinals play tonight, then they play again on Sunday when they host the Barrie Bay Cats. Game time is 2 p.m., so get your tickets for that one. Or you can hang out on Cable 14 and watch Matt and myself entertain you guys on Canada Day at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely be sporting our red shirts that day, for sure.
The thing with the addition of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers to this league is there's the 9th team now, so somebody's got to be off on Canada Day itself.
And surprisingly, I'm not doing a game on Canada Day. Like Jenny and I were talking about this in the car. Like nobody asked.
Well, that just feels weird.
It does. So we're going to do something better. I think we're going to broadcast from the living room. I think we're from the home office. Anyways, we'll broadcast from the home office and bring all 4 games to on one screen, and then invite the chat from all the people and everything else to hang out and talk baseball, and maybe we'll throw some trivia up, and maybe we'll give away a couple of T-shirts or something. We'll see.
You, my friend, have been on the ball with the content game this year.
I'm trying
to the IBL. That would be something.
Trying to have some fun with it.
Bring a red zone style Sunday to the IBL.
Yeah, maybe we'll call it Diamond Vision or something.
Canada Day, it'll be Tuesday.
Yeah, Diamond Vision with a lot of red stuff. And I guess Josh wants in on too, so we'll have to see. Maybe we'll get some guests on too. We'll see. Because 3 games getting started at 6:05. Then the Royals playing the oddball one at 7:30, which, it's Canada Day, guys. Like started at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, you would think take advantage of the holiday or something, but
Plus when where Hastings Stadium is 2 blocks away from where the fireworks are going to be going off about 9:30 anyways.
oh,
So you're going to either have to stop the game because there's a loud thundering thing going off behind you. All the dogs and birds and everything else in the neighborhood are being barking anyways.
yeah, that doesn't seem like the greatest plan to me.
No. And that's probably why the Royals usually play the afternoon game. But just because of Canada Day being a Tuesday, too, it's like, okay, it's a 7:35 start. Wasn't thought out well. Which means, it's a block and a half from our house. So it's technically like
Yeah,
5.
lost and all that,
Yeah.
folks.
And that one's going to be a comedy of errors here and nobody able to get the baseball. And it's now a 9-1 ball game.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours.
And this is probably what the Jackfish needed. But if you're a Cardinals fan, you don't want to see it here happen on your part. This is an ugly inning, but this is what the Jackfish need to get out of their funk with. And I was kind of hoping quietly it would last another day.
I think that hit multiple gloves.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's almost like that playing angel of the outfield, where it went off of so many guys' gloves, but nobody was able to field it.
Connor Corey's got to be thinking, what do I got to do here? Because that was unfortunate in the truest sense of the word. He got ahead of Morello 0-2, got the weak chopper, and
he's going to be asking for the number for dial-up prayer after that one. Just please, God, find me a way to get out of this inning. It's definitely things are tough all over in this inning. I successfully just reamed out 3 different movie references in like 2 minutes there. And you probably only knew one of them. Which is all right, because they're way before your time.
well, that's okay. I tried to do as much catching up as I can.
As the bat goes flying for the second night in a row here.
Yeah,
Last night was Robert Mullen.
Robert Mullen almost took out Brendan Luther
Yep.
with his bat yesterday.
And this one is like, thankfully further down the line here, so Jose Dominguez was not a victim down here.
Now get some pine tar on that thing, Jonah.
Yep. And here we got the replay coming across the bat going flying, and whoops.
Look out.
Jonah's going to want some stickum after that. Feel free to apply that liberally. And that one's going to be in there for a ball, and the count is 2-2 here from Connor Corey. Still only 1 away in the inning. 7 runs across. As Wisner hits one, and nobody able to field that one. It gets past Salazzo into left field, and the 8th run of the inning will come across. It's now 10-1 for the Jackfish.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher, number 23, Robert Mullen.
This is just officially an ugly inning, and we'll leave it at that. And Sam O'Coin, the Barrie Baycats social media manager, chiming in on my Facebook. Yes, Welland's offense seems to have woken this inning. Whoa!
Oh, my goodness. Again, Robert. Again. You would think he would have learned something yesterday.
You might have to have words with that bat company about putting it some more liberally thing as this torpedo goes down the line here in a hurry.
Corey starts him off with a fastball right down Main Street, and Mullen swung like it, except he, well.
Thankfully, the parking lot's at least another 30 yards behind the fence there.
Oh,
or that's going somebody's windshield.
So not only do you have to look out for home runs and such when Robert Mullen comes to town, you also got to look out for bats,
flying bats,
apparently.
Yes. A 9-run inning for the Jackfish here.
So this inning started with Pierre-Olivier Boucher, the leadoff man. Robert Mullen's the number 4 hitter.
Yep.
Except
is this once
made a full trip through.
Yes, we have.
On our way here.
That one's mercifully a call with a strike, and the count is 1-2 on Mullen. And the fans are letting me have it in the Facebook Messenger.
Oh, what are they doing to
No,
you
they
now?
just know. It's like your fears about Welland were warranted. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it. We willed it into existence. Oh, my goodness. And they almost get out of the inning there. They get the force out at second base. 2 away now, but another run comes home, and it's 11-1 here.
A slight bobble here by Brennan Nickel at shortstop as Mullen takes this one right back up the middle. Yeah. Oop. That cost the Cardinals a double play there as they're at least able to recover and get the one. I was starting to think we were never going to see another out.
Well, thankfully, that number 2 is up on the scoreboard now, or will be shortly. Nate's just playing catch-up.
There's a lot of work to do, and there's just many runs on the board. For the official scorer especially.
I don't envy Nate tonight. My score sheet's a mess. I can only imagine what his point streak is looking like.
Hey, you're going to have to stretch across to the next sheet there.
Yeah, pretty much. But the good news is Grayson Barrett's on an OQ count, and he is still the beer batter of the game. So
don't let the score distract you, folks.
Nope. Let's will this one into existence here. End this inning on a high note. As Barrett fouls that one off to stay alive at 0-2.
Cardinal bullpen quiet for now. It looks like Connor Corey's just going to have to wear this one.
At least for this half inning anyways, till he comes back off the fence and says, yeah, coach, I'm done.
It's a thankless job, but those innings aren't going to eat themselves.
Nope. That one misses outside. Now 1-2 the count here with 2 away. 9 runs across in what was a close ball game until this half inning.
Yeah, if you can believe it, we were headed for another tightly contested ball game between these two teams, and then we weren't.
Funny how that happens in the span of an inning. But as the old adage goes in the Center County, no lead is safe as well, so maybe the Cardinals can come back. Barrett fouls that one off to stay alive again. And that one's in the parking lot. Somebody's going to have an unwanted souvenir or at least a dent like they did on Sunday. We were leaving and Jenny was pointing out to one of the cars just up the road here, and it looked like it definitely got the driver's side door pretty heavily. That one's fouled away, and Barrett stays alive, runs the count to 2-2 here.
I do respect Grayson Barrett. An 8-pitch at-bat with this many foul balls in a 10-run game just feels a little cruel.
Well, I think he also realizes he's the beer batter of the day, and he's doing hell or high water. I'm not striking out. 2-2 offering. Misses inside for a ball. And it'll be a full count on the beer batter.
Do you remember, Neil, when you were talking about how you wished you brought your record book here?
Yep.
Well, I've got a record for you.
There you
Since
go.
we started keeping track of such things last year, this is easily the longest half inning by total pitches for Cardinals pitching. This is number 57.
And Grayson Barrett is going to say
You
not.
gotta be kidding me.
And Dominguez fields the ball on Grayson Barrett.
There will be 58, Neil.
Yep.
There will be 58. And you're just running out of different ways to say the same thing. These mistakes to the Welland Jackfish. Hittable pitches right in their wheelhouse. The lefties love the fastball there, middle down. It hasn't changed. It doesn't matter who's pitching. It's just not going to go your way if you keep giving them that many opportunities. It's too good of a lineup to miss it. Sure, the past few weeks are the past few weeks, but this is baseball. The talent speaks for itself, and
Exactly.
After people were starting to wonder what was going wrong for a little bit there, but the bats are doing the talking, to say the least. Here is some sort of disagreement going on here. Wonder what this could be about.
Number of mound visits, maybe?
It's got to be something like that. it can't be on the call because that was a called strike that went the Cardinals' way. So I don't know what. Can't be related to that. We'll see.
Are they calling a balk here, maybe?
Yeah, Connor Corey's getting involved now, so this has to pertain to him in some way.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, he didn't come to a full stop, and Jeff Rose called a balk here.
Is it a party foul to call a balk in 11-1 game?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Corey's not happy.
Sorry, 12-1. Oh, looks like he did.
And he just got tossed from the game. I'm not sure from what. This inning just gets weirder and weirder.
We'll know one day, but today is not that day.
No.
So now Chris Boato's got to go down there and get warmed up in a flash.
Well, now that the pitcher's ejected from the game, he can warm up on the mound and take as many pitches as he wants to. It's like an injury exit.
Can someone down in the Cable 14 truck tell us what time it was when this inning started?
Yeah. Have we got time codes or anything? Because this just seems like it had to be like 34 minutes ago.
Well, it looks like Drew Mainprize is trotting in from the bullpen. We saw Boato warming up.
He's going to have a look at the last pitch here and see what happened here.
Let's see that.
Now I'm curious.
So Corey comes set. Well, not yet.
Not yet. Bernardo's going through the signs.
He does. Glance back at Robert Mullen at second. Glance back to the plate, and
he still hadn't stopped fully.
No.
Like I don't think his leg was stopped. What did he throw him out for, though? What did he say?
Now on the mound for your Cardinals, number 7, Drew Mainprize.
Yeah, it had to be something he said to Jeff Rose. Almost like a
It must have been a prior call or something like that.
Because that was just, I'm stumped about that one.
Once you start arguing, then the next time there's a peep out of your mouth, they won't let you.
No,
they won't let you go any longer.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the initial incident was, but nevertheless, the Hamilton Cardinals are on to their 4th pitcher of the inning.
That they are, and Drew Mainprize just looking to hopefully mercifully end this one here in this inning. 12-1 is the score if you're just jumping in. Believe it or not, it was a 2-1 ball game till this inning. And now, unfortunately, the Jackfish have rained down with 9 runs and still threatening for more here, with just 2 away. Yeah.
Neil, did you prepare any more material?
This was the whole other discussion we were having there as far as that stuff goes. It was like, well, what can we talk about when this happened? Of course, Jonathan Friedman chiming in there with the OKC Hamilton own SGA coming home with the championship trophy along with the MVP trophy of the playoffs. And hopefully home Hamilton very soon with that stuff. And who knows, maybe we can get him to throw the opening pitch out some night.
Yeah, I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander would love Bernie Arbor.
I think he would. Why not? He's already had one parade. Why not come down for another one? As Mainprize continues to get loose here, and he can pretty much take all. Well, of course, we'll talk about the All-Star game one more time here, too, on July 20th. Get your tickets. Come join us. The Home Run Derby is going to start at 4:30 p.m. Of course, it'll be simulcast live on Cable 14 and, of course, simulcast on our partners, CHCH-TV. And, of course, the Home Run Derby exclusively on Cable 14 that night. 7:35 first pitch. But if you guys haven't got your tickets yet, go get them early. You don't want to miss the Derby. It was an absolute blast last year. A great contest being put on, of course. It remains to be seen who's going to be named to that Derby, but I'm sure Tyler Duncan will be one of the the favorites and get an opportunity to defend his title here at home in front of the Cardinals fans.
Yeah, if that blast was any indication that he's still got it and he wants to defend his title, I don't know what it is.
Well, exactly. That's his third home run of the season many moons ago. As William Price gets a swing and a whiff here from Mateo Persolato. As we're back to baseball here.
We're nearly 2 trips through the order this inning, Neil.
That we are. My score sheet is saying that's going to drop in. Actually, no, it's going to be caught for the out. And the 5th inning is finally over for the Cardinals. The Jackfish score 9 runs in that inning and now lead this one 12-1 here on Cable 14. We have some defensive changes for the Jackfish, I'm sure. Brandon Hoope is into the contest for Josh Marchese. It's a matter to see who goes to first now and where Hoope stays in the lineup or not. As Ben Abrams is now having to go back out there after sitting for a very long time here.
I was going to say that I wouldn't blame them if they didn't want to bring Abram back. He was down for an awful long time there. 62 pitches that half inning is the final total for the Cardinals, which, well, if that doesn't send a shiver down your spine.
Well, exactly. But he's in this situation where he's only pitched 4 innings. You got to go 5 to qualify for the win. So you got to let him go out there, or at least try to go out here and get that inning, the last inning here, and at least put the W beside his name, or at least the opportunity to put the W beside the name, provided the score holds up. But yeah, I don't know. In a situation like this, if it was the 6th inning, I guarantee Ben's not out there. I guarantee it. I guarantee you going in the bullpen. But again, the Jackfish have got a very important game tomorrow night against the London Majors as well. So a battle for first place on the line too. So it's hard to say. As Robert Mullen finally behind the plate here to catch a couple more warm-up pitches. And there's Davey Mendez and the crew down there. I'm sure we're not going to see Davey tonight unless something changes drastically here. So Davey's just probably relaxed and having some fun, probably going for a hot dog.
You think we're going to see Davey in this one tonight, Neil?
Not at all. Not at all. Unless
I just thought I'd ask.
No,
just for the humor of it all.
Oh, jeez. The only way we're going to see him is on camera. And that's okay.
Yep.
He's a great guy. He's got a toque on right now, so, he's staying warm. Probably the warmest guy in the ballpark right now. As the warm-ups are finally done, and the inning will return here. 12-1 is the score in the home half of the 5th inning now. As the conductor will come up just for his second at-bat in the contest. He struck out his first time up against Abrams in the 2nd inning. Meanwhile, if you flip the scoreboard over, the Jackfish I believe are, they've gone through 4.
Can I get a look at that scorebook, Neil, by chance? Goodness gracious.
It's a scribble mess. Looks like the doctor, my side of the family, has definitely come out in that scribble mess.
Yeah, for those of you at home who can't see it, Neil is now fluent in hieroglyphics.
Yes. I come by it honestly. My father had his PhD in chemistry, so it just rubbed off on me.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. As Salazzo takes the ball here from Abrams, the count's 2-0, but yeah. I think the 34-minute, we're going to say it was 34 minutes, but probably a little longer than that. But yeah, 64 pitch weight out there for Abrams has definitely taken its toll on the first 2 offerings here.
I wonder how much, I got to fire up Game Live here and see how many Abram was at himself, because the Cardinals might have matched his total for the night in just that inning.
Yeah. Salazzo takes a swing and a miss at that one. They count 2 balls and 1 strike here. Well, my laptop signed me out here, so that's how long we didn't go on the laptop for.
Yeah, that's where we are, folks.
I hadn't touched the laptop, hadn't moved the screen in quite some time. Salazzo hits this one foul, and the count will go to 3-1 here. Sorry, 3-2 now. Scoreboard was a little delayed on that one. Out-of-town scoreboard, because there's still outer baseball going on. The Gulf Royals are rallying to take a 6-4 lead over the Maple Leafs. And in the top of the 7th inning, Labatt Park, the London Majors are up 5-3 on the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. As Salazzo swings and misses on an offering, and Abrams gets himself another punch. And 11-7 is the score in the CFL game with 2:04 left in the third quarter. Just up the road as Salazzo strikes out for the second time in the inning. And Tommy Reyes-Cruz will be the batter now. He struck out to start the third inning many, many moons ago.
Well, the game's not over yet, but congratulations, Welland Jackfish. You have now outscored a football team.
Yep. That one's in there for a call strike on Reyes-Cruz, and 1-1 is the count.
Okay, Neil, we've still got about half a game to go here, and I figured the best place to start to fill in the gaps here is some superlatives. What is your favorite IBL game that you've ever called?
Oh, man, that's so tough.
What comes to mind?
What comes to mind? Probably, I would probably have to say Game 3 of last year's first round playoff series, because it was the first time in a long time the Guelph Royals actually got out of the first round.
Yes, it was.
So, and you know, it was also one of my first games back in the booth last year too, after being off for most of the summer. So
cathartic for both the team and you.
Yeah. And you know, I walked out of there just, you know, feeling like, okay, that's whatever else happens in this season or anything else is no longer on my shoulders, as far as that stuff goes, because, you know, I was the general manager the last time and they won a playoff series.
Yeah, that's a good wholesome answer.
But games I've been involved with as well, I would definitely look at 97, Game 4 of the series against Kitchener and Guelph. Actually, Guelph won that. That was the second. That was when Guelph won the final game of the finals that year on a wild pitch in the 11th inning, 1-0. So, yeah, that was probably it as far as that stuff goes. That was probably some of the games, and of course, many highlights. The Duncan throw. My first year here with...
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, which they played on the highlights. Of course, it was the only highlight on the IBL site for many months, because I don't know if they lost the passwords or what. And a Montreal interception has now made it 17-7 for the Ticats over the Alouettes.
Darn it, they finally scored it like a football game.
Yep. They do know how to play football down the line. Okay.
Okay, I'll concede.
Of course, I've been blessed to call Claudio Custodio's record-setting strikeout and Jose Arias' record-setting strikeout for the majors all in the same season with like the span of a week and a half.
That's good too.
Yeah. I was in the booth with Dylan Baker in London on that game, and it's just like he had stepped out and realized, oh, like he might hit this thing, so I'm waving him back up here. It's like, no, you got to come up and call this thing, because this is your park. You know, I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the nosy neighbors wrecking all the fun here. And Dylan's going to go far, no question. You see this work he's been doing with the CHL in the off seasons, everything else at the Memorial Cup, and you can just see how far that young man's coming. I remember when he was 12 years old doing his first game. So yeah, makes it sound old, but he's like only 19 now.
Oh, sometimes you just know.
Yeah, they grow up so fast. As 3-2 is the count now to Pena. 12-1 is your score. It was a close game going into this inning. As Pena goes down looking, and Ben Abrams is going to get nothing across here in the home half of the fifth inning here on Cable 14. 12-1 is your score. Look at that beautiful shot as we go to break here on Cable 14.
What do you want?
Top of the sixth inning here at Burning Arbor Stadium. Neil Schwartzman, Matt Creeley on the call with you guys and gals. And, well, there's no way to sugarcoat it, Matt. This is a blowout. This is
laugher, any other term you've got in the old baseball dictionary for this one. Dumpster fire, yeah. Thanks, Jono.
Yep, we've got to love that one, but yes. The Jackfish woke up in the fifth inning, let's put it that way. The Hamilton Cardinals played with fire, got severely burnt, and, now they're just looking at the charred remains, trying to salvage the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, I think
strikes with the plate umpire.
The at-bat before rubbed Jeff Rose the wrong way, and then he didn't want to hear it the next time either.
This one is fielded cleanly. We got defensive changes for the Cardinals all over here, and that one looks like it's going to die as a hero here. Nick Veloci unable to come up with that one. He's the new third baseman. And Russell Young's behind the plate now as well. And defensive changes. Looks like Tanner Rempel's over at first.
Do my eyes deceive me? Is that Tanner Rempel?
That is Tanner Rempel. We have a Tanner Rempel sighting for the first time in, I don't know, a coon's age.
Welcome back, Tanner. He's been so sick lately.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
This one's lined up the middle. And it goes off the glove of Tommy Reyes Cruz, and some nights it's just the baseball gods who got it out for you, and that's tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, it's just we're fighting the baseball. That's the best way to put it.
I mean, the inning started off with an infield hit, and that was a rather ominous sign.
And we have a signed confirmation. There's Tanner Rempel on your screen at first base for the first time in just over a month.
Great to see Tanner back, healthy again.
He had some mystery. He had some weird illnesses, that's for sure, and hamstrings, flu bug, strep throat, you name it. Poor guy.
Sometimes it just hits you all at once.
Yeah. This one's flipped by Reyes, and wow, okay. Yeah, that happened. That's the best way to put it. That happened. Yep. That's an unfortunate, I think the shortstop was trying to make the play before he had the baseball, and it was just like, yeah, nope, I don't got the baseball. And unfortunately, that allows another run to come across. It's now 13-1 here. And still nobody away in this inning. As Drew Rainprize is going to need a bigger mop here. And we're back to Boucher here in this inning. (13-1). That one misses outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count now.
Neil, I know we just looked at it, but you got to tell me this out-of-town scoreboard right now. what do we got here?
It's 5-4 for London over Chatham-Kent.
Okay, that's closer now.
And 6-4 Guelph over Toronto, and that one is in bottom of the 5th inning. So there are lots of baseball in that one still to be played. And this one is lined into left center field, but is going to be caught by the left fielder for the first out of the inning here. And the Bronx cheer goes through the outfield.
Stepping up the plate, center fielder number 11, Gio Morello.
Masuki Akasuka still in the ball game for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, who are now trailing by a run.
I asked Mizuki when he was here with the Barnstormers 3 weeks ago just how he was finding this season so far, and he was like, so. As John was in our ear telling us about the lightning storm. I was going to mention that if you look out from the broadcast booth here slightly to our left, it's moving this way. It's moving across the field from left to right. Way off in the distance, a lightning storm of sorts. There was forecasted for there to be weather in the area coming into today, and then that kind of dissipated throughout the afternoon. It's been clear skies so far, but something off in the distance there.
You telling me there might be a chance we might get out of here in a decent hour still?
Well, don't count your chickens before they've hatched.
No, we're definitely not going to do that. We are official ball game, though, so we don't have to suspend this one. This one's hit out the shortstop. They'll flip the second for one. And not in time at first. They get the fielder's choice. And runners on the corners now with 2 away.
Stepping up to the plate, shortstop number 4, Jonah Weisner.
As Jonah Weisner comes to the bat for I believe the 5th time tonight.
We're getting up near 2 plate appearances per inning now.
Yep.
Something like that.
13 runs on 13 hits for the Jackfish. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error officially in the score sheet for the Cardinals. As Weisner hits this one foul at the bullpen, and it looks like our friend Fernando down there with the great grab over the fence.
He saves ball games. He robs foul balls.
And now he's going to hand this one off to a youngster. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And a huge thanks, note of thanks to Fernando for signing that baseball on Sunday. And I had no idea it was for me. I was like, okay. It's now safely at home on the office. And we ordered a nice little case for it. And I'll have to put one of his Tiger cards or something beside it. But I really appreciate that.
He's a class act through and through.
Yeah. As the inning is over, the Jackfish get another run here as we head to the home half of the 6th inning. It's 13-1 for the Jackfish.
My first professional glove, that's the one I remember the most. When I was coming up, even though it wasn't that long ago, having your name on a glove was a big deal.
Great job once again by our friends at Rawlings Canada, and we got once again got to extend the invitation to Jason Shipley or anybody else from Rawlings Canada. Come bring some wares down here. Come show some stuff off. We got some time to kill between innings, so by all means, come hang out with us up in the booth and let's talk shop a little bit about baseball stuff.
Yeah.
The scoreboard update once again from Jono in our ear. 18-10 Ticats over the Alouettes early in the 4th quarter. And Ben Abrams going back out here. I guess he figured, I made the drive down. I might as well finish this one off, guys.
Yeah. Joke's on you, Welland. The Ticats have now outscored you.
Yep.
And somehow it doesn't make me feel any better.
No, it doesn't. And I hope they don't say, oh, here, hold my Gatorade and, go run the score up somewhere either, because 13's enough. 13's enough. They've done their job tonight. And you kind of expected them to bounce back like this as well, just because they're too good of a ball team. They're too good of a ball team to lose 4 in a row. They just are. And here we go once again up in the press box. The Bill Stirrup press box up here in Hamilton, Ontario, Burning Arbor Stadium. I'm Neil Shawaspa. That's Matt Greeley, and of course we got the amazing guys behind us as well. Popping in, we got Josh on the PA system, Nate to the official scorer behind us as well, trying to avoid the cameras. And there we go. And don't forget the camera operators as well. Lauren and Aimee doing a great job keeping us in line up here. And it's bringing you the pictures while we try to talk about a baseball game. 13-1 is your score, and Tanner Rempel will make his first at bat. And I want to say it almost just over a month. It's the last time he was
feels
up.
that way. I believe that Sunday game against Chatham was the last one, so that would be 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Seems like a lot longer.
It does. I don't blame you for saying it's been.
It's been too long.
It really has. It really has.
We need Tanner at first.
Just feels right when he's over there, and sometimes it's beyond your control. But glad to see Tanner back, trying to get his feet wet once again. I guess the nice way to put it for him is that he isn't being thrown into the fire here. He's got a nice lopsided game to just work on himself for a little bit.
Yeah, we're relaxing. Work on what's been ailing you, and just get your swing back to normal here. Work on the defense a little bit. Get the reps back in. Get touching the baseball again. That one's in there for a called strike, and Abram works with a 1-2 count in his favor.
Looking down to our left, it's Carmen Salcedo warming up in the Cardinal bullpen.
And no activity in the Jackfish bullpen whatsoever. I think they're just sipping some Kool-Aid or Gatorade or whatever it is down there.
Well, hey, it is a busy part of the schedule, and as long as Abram wasn't too worn down from that long layoff there in the top of the 5th inning, you may as well have him go as far as he can, save the bullpen for when they're actually going to be needed.
Well, exactly.
Stepping up to the plate, shortstop number 32, Brandon Nickel.
Brandon Nickel, now the batter, as Tanner Rempel goes down looking on a strikeout. Nickel is 0 for 2 in the contest, a pair of 5-3 groundouts. One with a double play. Nickel pops the first one he sees in the outfield. It'll be tracked down by the right fielder. Boucher makes the catch. And Nickel's retired on the F9 for the second out of the 6th inning here. That'll bring up Josh Williams, the designated hitter, who's 0 for 2 in the contest. But you can just tell when Josh Williams is feeling the baseball and happy at the plate and everything else. He's got that swagger back. He's got that look on his face where he's back to enjoying the game again. And that's so great to see for him.
Yeah, it is great to see, and he's just such a presence in the clubhouse, the locker room, and obviously an imposing guy to face at the plate. There you go.
Yeah, he's felt that one all night.
Yep.
He's feeling that one as he leaves the yard over the Little Caesars sign. I believe that's Mr. Williams' 4th home run of the season. A round tripper makes it 13-2 here.
Don't go quietly into that good night, Josh Williams. That was another pretty swing. He's been swinging a hot bat lately.
He has.
Had some beautiful ones yesterday in Welland. I'm always admired for a big slugger, his ability to use the whole field and keep defenses on their toes. But that time, it was just an old-fashioned. Caught it out front, pull side. And giving the Cardinals some added dignity here on their way out.
That was just a fastball over the middle of the plate there, and Williams made sure he got all of that one on that flight.
Very much echoing your sentiments there. Before we hit that home run, Neil, it's just great to see Josh back and having some fun again and doing what he does best, like that.
Yep. Yeah, he's part of Metro's finest in the police force in Toronto as well. So, yeah. Remind me not to do anything wrong in Toronto.
Nope.
Or at least have him on speed dial if something does go wrong. Hey, Josh, I need a favor. No questions asked, okay? No, I would never do anything crazy like that. My kids know that. Right, kids? I'm so dead when I get home. As that's a swing and a miss, and that's going to end the inning. Abrams gets another punch out, and the Cardinals go quickly, but they do get a run back to make it 13-2 here on Cable 14. As you see a big close-up shot of Josh Williams having some fun with a couple of guys on the bench now as they try to focus up here and get back to the task at hand. Of course, we got to thank our friends at Little Caesars here It's not only that they take care of us, they take great care of feeding the crew here on Cable 14. Make sure you check out Queenston Road, 280 Queenston Road here in Hamilton, Ontario. Get yourself some hot and ready on the way home tonight.
And they've been feeding the Cardinals and their staff for a couple of years now. The best at what they do.
What they do.
So in comes Mr. Salcedo into this ballgame, the Cardinals' newest young relief pitcher. He's also ate up some innings for the junior Cardinals this year. The Salcedo projects to be a part of this team's future through 4 1/3 innings this year. 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, a 6.23 ERA. He did some mop-up duty last Saturday as well at the Kitchener Panthers. He with a multi-inning relief appearance there and the eventual 12-4 loss for Hamilton.
Yeah, that game was weird. They was just out of sync from the start.
Yep.
They gave a 7th spot up in the first inning, but I think the thing that compounded the most was the 3 errors on defense. It's just, again, reared their ugly head tonight, too. Just absolutely laid a stinker out once again.
A couple Fridays ago, Salcedo's whole family was here in attendance. There were like 7 or 8 Salcedos down there hanging out in the grandstand, and they all brought this big Dominican flag to the game, and they were holding it out. At times, the Cable 14 camera out in center field got a good look at it, and
yep.
Salcedo is Canadian, but good to see his whole family out here celebrating their heritage.
Exactly.
Always wholesome when the families show up to the games. And
that it is.
there's been a lot of love shown by the closest Cardinal faithful this year. Of course, we couldn't put Caleb Sorosky's red nameplate on his sleeveless Thunderbirds jersey last week because his family bought too many jerseys and we ran out of them.
That's outstanding. Of course, they were here. They came up to the press. His mom came up to the press box to say hi before the game today and everything else. Apparently, they left a care package down in the office down there for everybody to enjoy down there. So you'll have to tell me what it's in because I don't go in that office.
Yeah, I believe, I'm not sure if I saw this right, it was from a distance, but I saw a Sorosky jersey in Welland yesterday.
Yeah.
I believe another one of his family members has made the trip out there. It's
nice.
Good to see. We nearly ran out of Workingtons too. The Workington family bought a bunch of jerseys for Logan, the Cardinals' left-handed reliever.
Yep. I definitely got to get.
We have Tyson Gom pinch hitting here, by the way.
That we do. So the Goms have definitely made their presence felt in this contest. Now it's Tyson's turn. As his brother Austin has got a pair of hits and a couple of runs scored so far in the contest. And Tyson takes ball 1 inside here from Salcedo. This one's fouled away, and the count is 1-2 now. Or sorry, 1-1.
Salcedo's one of those guys that I would love to see the biomechanics and such and all the tracking metrics on his fastball. He's got a real lively heater with some carry to it.
As Gom swings and misses at that offering, and the count is 1-2 now.
Of course, locating it then becomes the next thing, which Salcedo's had trouble with this year, but he's an exciting prospect for this team. And the coaches and players have raved about his character in the clubhouse, wise beyond his years.
There is some activity down in the Jackfish bullpen now. I'm not sure who is down there throwing. A little too dark to tell who it is down here from our vantage point, but it looks like it might be Danny Howitt, possibly. I'm not sure. Trying to just look by the frame here. That might be Howitt. Back in the good old days, he used to have those red shoes we used to give him away, but now he doesn't. So,
yeah,
and the red gloves. So now I can't tell who that is. That's of course those hark back to his Brock Badger days.
We gotta start bringing binoculars up here. It feels like a must-have in every press box.
I've got the long distance glasses on too.
So do I.
I still can't figure it out. So count is now full here on Gom. Gom is 4 for 29 on this season. He does have 2 RBIs. And he takes upstairs for a ball 4 here to start the 7th inning.
Stepping up to the plate, the beer batter, first base, number 24, Grayson Barrett.
Well, if you are a baseball fan in Southern Ontario looking for something to cheer for tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays are up 9-0 on the Red Sox. Bottom 9 there.
There we go. Yeah,
Big start to that series is looks like Carlo Cardelli, the trainer, is joining Chris Piano out for a mound visit here today. Notice something wrong with Salcedo. That is not good.
I think it's blister on his hand or something because the way he's looking at his fingers.
Yeah. It looks that way.
I don't care. If you got a blister in your hand, it usually means you're coming out of the ball game.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess around with those.
Speaking of the Blue Jays, fans from about a decade ago will know that blister issue plagued Aaron Sanchez for years.
Man.
Once it starts, it feels like it doesn't stop, and you got to be 110% recovered.
Well, maybe it's just a hangnail because he looks like he's managed to negotiate his way to stay in this ball game so far.
Well, I got to give the Bernie Arbor faithful some credit here. The score is 13-2, but they have not forgotten who's at the plate right now.
They have not. They definitely have not. Maybe they'll be willing enough to, give Grayson Barrett one on the way back here or something. Do us a favor, Grayson.
It's the absolute least they could do.
Yeah.
And I know concessions is about to close soon. We're in the top of the 7th, but
well, no beer for you. As Duncan makes the grab here in center field. Duncan, one of the only center fielder that's still in the ball game at the start of this contest. Daly's in left. Groves is in right. Veloci's over at third. Brendan Nichols at shortstop. And Tanner Rempel's at first. And a new catcher is Russell Young behind the plate as well, in case we missed any of the defensive changes. Tommy Reyes Cruz did stay at second base. So up the middle has stayed the same. Everywhere else has changed on defense.
Is that Tommy out there?
Well, according to my point streak, it is. So, but it might not be.
I wouldn't blame Nate for missing something here.
I think that's Jaden Brown at second base.
I was gonna say
it's a little shaded darker.
Wholesale, to say the least, the changes in the Cardinals' defense here.
And that one's laced in the right center field off the end of the bat, and another hit for the Jackfish here in the 7th inning. Their 14th of the night as they continue to pound the baseball here. Whatever they had for dinner tonight, I want a double helping for Sunday morning for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Jaden Brown at second base. This one is lined into right field, and the hit parade continues here. Grows up with it and throws it in the infield early into Rempel. Base is loaded now, just one away in the 7th inning.
Stepping up to the plate, left fielder number 21, Brandon Hoope.
As Brandon Hoope will come to the plate now. Came in as a pinch runner a few innings ago. Almost an hour ago.
I wouldn't be surprised if you told me it happened yesterday.
I know. I do remember yesterday, so I don't remember much of that 5th inning. I don't know, a lot of runs came across.
Well, it sure seems like the Welland Jackfish have something here with Austin Gom. This might be a duo that works for them.
Yep. Big swing and a miss on that one.
Austin's been just been spraying them left and right, just line drives all over the place here.
Yep. That one misses inside. And the count is 2-1 now.
Luis Bernardo told me prior to the season starting that Salcedo can touch the mid-90s with that fastball. So he's only 20, but he can let it ride for sure. But as we've seen throughout the season and today, it's the location that's neither here nor there sometimes.
So it's popped up in the outfield. And looks like it's going to be into no man's land. They're going to get the runner at third base on the force out. But another run comes home. It's now a 14-2 ball game.
Stepping up to the plate, second baseman number 20, Brandon Hoope.
Guess you give him a single and an RBI and a force. Oh, you can't. You got to give him a fielder's choice.
Yeah.
They made an out on the play, so you can't give fielder's choice and an RBI.
The intricacies of baseball scoring. It's like learning a language.
It is. This Porcelato takes a ball on that pitch. This one's looped right at the shortstop. Nickel makes the grab, and the inning is over. 7th inning stretch here at Bernie Arbor Stadium in a one-sided affair on Cable 14.
1 run on 2 hits with 2 runners left on base. The score is 14-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning.
We come back at the bottom of the 7th inning now. Cardinals just looking to save some face, work on some things with the sticks here. Thank you so much for tuning in on Cable 14 this evening for Friday Night Baseball. Our next telecast is Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. The Barrie Baycats here in town to take on your Hamilton Cardinals. It's Canada Day at the park, so make sure you guys wear your red and bring some Maple Leaf flags. Let's have a great party celebrating some of our proud Canadian heritage. As Abrams is still out here, maybe, perhaps? No.
Nope. It looks like that is. Come on, turn around. We need to see.
I think it's Danny.
Is it you, Danny Howitt?
I think it is Danny Howitt. Yeah, it's Danny Howitt. The glasses give him away.
Yeah.
And they're going over the signs here with the catcher Tyson Gallm. Danny Howitt, the former Brock Badger, now making his home here in Welland for the Jackfish.
Now pitching for Welland, number 33, Dan Howitt. And now back catcher, number 26, Tyson Gallm.
Danny Howitt, 6'2", 245 of Brantford, Ontario. This is season number 4 for him in this league, and he's gotten off to a nice little start here. 4 strikeouts, no walks, 5 1/3, 168 ERA. He's been reliable here in the early going for these Jackfish. He spent the first 2 summers, like we said, with the Red Sox, and then off to Welland he went, starting last year.
Yep. Well, it just made sense. He's going to school in St. Catharines. Why drive all the way from St. Catharines to Brantford when you got a ball club just up the street for you? Literally.
And Mr. Howitt is no stranger to blowouts like this. His last 2 appearances came in the 23-2 game against Kitchener that we previously talked about. He also pitched in a 10-4 Welland victory at Guelph on June the 10th. Howitt closing in on 60 appearances and 150 innings here in his IBL tenure. So
just over 4 years too. So yeah. He's definitely been a workhorse. And I know with the Red Sox and everything else, it was like, when is he not pitching? Whereas there in Welland and everything else, his appearances are few and far between, but he's been able to shut people down when he does get the chance to take the baseball. And be tasked with facing Tyler Duncan, who's 1 for 2 with his 3rd home run of the season and RBI number 10 on the year. Now 17 for 65 on the season. So just around the 250, 260 mark as far as the batting average now for Duncan. Which, much like the weather, he's just heating up. As Duncan hits the first offering he sees from Howitt down the left field line. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And Duncan's got himself a leadoff single to start the home half of the 7th inning in a 14-2 ball game.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher, number 34, Russell Young.
Duncan hit that one down the line and just died a hero there because it was going to be in no man's land. No way the left fielder was going to get to it, and the third baseman had a beat on it, but there's no way he was going to get to it in time. It was dying too fast.
And the rare fly ball single.
As Russell Young pops this one up down the line, and it's going to be caught by the first baseman. And Young's retired by his former teammates for the first out of the inning on the F3 in foul territory. And now Nick Veloci will get an opportunity to come to the plate.
Nicholas
as Jimmy blares through all along the watchtower here.
Well, Neil, I hate that we got to go down this path again, but it's 14-2, so I'm going to say it again. Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
Top 2 guitarist of all time.
Yep.
I never did get to say on air who else I think is in that conversation, but I've always been a big Dire Straits guy, and I got to give my flowers to Mark Knopfler there.
There you go. Good choice. One of the best axemen in the business, that's for sure.
Always happy to talk music, especially vintage rock, but unfortunate that we have to go there again, but the score has left us no choice.
Aren't you tired of the same old thing? Yeah. Mix it up a little. Why would I? Take a swing.
We can have fun. Big fun.
You gotta get it rolling. Get it right.
You don't need it.
Make it happen. Keep it tight. Be electric. Come alive.
I'm Josie.
You can do it. Aces.
I'll be right with you.
I'm here with Augusta Matson, the owner of La Bodeguita. Tell us about this place.
Well, this place got founded when I was 3 years old. Just kind of took it over.
Be here, and for one of the younger bench guys on the team, that's what you got to do. You can't think about the score. Just focus on putting good at-bats together, catch the attention of your coaches.
Flucci fouls it off, stays alive again. Determined to win this battle against Howitt.
Pitch number 9 upcoming in this AB.
I'm sure they crossed paths at Brock and McMaster University in the past.
Yep.
So
I'm sure there was some overlap there.
Yep.
Howitt's got a little more tenure on him, but
this was lined by Veloci into center field, but it's going to be caught on the run by Morello.
he certainly hit that one, squared it up as though he'd seen him before, but nothing to show for it, unfortunately, as Morello right there to put it away.
But, you know, there was a lot of positives in that bat. He battled all the way through there, and he worked the count to full. And unfortunately, just didn't come away through with a single on that one, but he hit it hard up the middle. The second out of the inning. And Jaden Brown will be the batter now. This is another guy that when he hits the ball with contact, it sounds differently. Takes ball one outside from Howitt.
Yeah, Jaden had some tough luck against the Toronto Maple Leafs on Wednesday. It seemed like he was the only guy on this team that the ball wasn't falling for. In their 3-run second inning, he absolutely smoked one, but it was right at the left fielder. And he got the past couple of starts off just to clear his head maybe. Jaden, a member of the Austin P baseball team for a while down in the States in the NCAA ranks. Also from Mississauga, Ontario.
Yep. So it's popped up in the infield. Second baseman's going to call for it and make the catch. And Brown and the Cardinals are done here in the 7th inning. And we're going to a quick break here on cable. Or not? No break? All right. So we're going to keep talking through it. It's top of the going off to the top of the 8th inning. It's 14-2 in favor of Jackfish on cable 14. Neil Shrivastava, Matt Creeley on the call. Once again, thank you so much for allowing us into your homes this evening for Friday Night Baseball. Sorry, it's not much more of a ball game, but the Jackfish were due for one of these ball games, and unfortunately, the Cardinals were the victims of circumstance tonight. They drew the short straw as far as the schedule goes, and they're coming off a 3-game losing streak and didn't have a lot going well for the offense, but that sure changed in a hurry in that 5th inning.
Yeah. Neil, the first thing you said to me when you walked into the press box today about an hour and a half before game time is that I don't know if the Welland Jackfish have ever lost 4 in a row before, but for the teams that have had to face them after an L3. It hasn't gone well, and well, you can add the Hamilton Cardinals.
Yep, just add
to that list.
Unfortunately, add them to the mercy killings on those ones, or the sacrificial lambs here.
Yep.
But yes.
Eerily similar to last year, might I add. The Jackfish were in town the Friday of Canada Day long weekend as well. They won that game by a score of 11-0.
You brought that up too, and I was just like, let's not bring that up.
You start to shake your head. It goes, you don't like the similarities that are popping up there. And, well, I'm not going to say we've spoken into existence because the Welland,
Jackfish did that on their own.
The Welland Jackfish, after a 3-game losing streak and a very rare dry spell for the offense for the span of about a fortnight, are far more dangerous than any broadcaster jinx could ever be.
Yep.
But that is exactly what happened.
We'll take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We're off to the top of the 10th inning in London. Chatham-Kent and London are tied at 5 apiece here in the top of the 10th inning.
Are they going to walk it off again?
I hope not, because that's just going to be crazy. But you never know. Strangest things are happening at that ballpark. And that one in the top of the 7th inning, Guelph and Toronto is being a respectable 6-4 ball game to this time. So,
well, they decided that last time the Royals went to Christie Pitts, it probably got a little too out of hand. So they said, you know what, we'll
keep it keep it reasonable. 6-4 is the score, and that's in the top of the 7th inning.
What inning did Chatham-Kent tie the game in? I'm curious.
I'm thinking the 9th inning, but I'm just going to go back and look at that score sheet now. That was actually in the 7th inning. They came across. London had a 5-0 lead. Chatham-Kent got one in the 4th, one in the 5th, one in the 6th, 2 in the 7th inning to tie it at 5 apiece.
There was a game between Chatham and London a month ago. It was on a Sunday where the Majors had a 7-1 lead, and the Barnstormers
came all the way back.
They put a 6 spot up in the 8th off of Piano and then Janice, and then Josh Niles walked it off at the bottom of the 9th.
That he did. He walked it off, and then Kenny Segui's done a couple of walk-offs in a row, and then they had another one last weekend too, over against which started the Jackfish tailspin.
Mm-hmm. And then tonight it ended.
Yep.
Russell Young just took a very hard foul ball off the mask.
That he did.
Probably seeing some stars right now.
The umpire's asking him a couple questions about him. What's your name, son? Where do you live? And all the fun stuff.
Taking his sweet time getting back behind home plate, of course, a common courtesy when the catcher gets beaned.
Yes.
Uh-oh. What happened to the point streak over there?
It always does this when it goes in extra innings. It messes up itself because it just does. It doesn't like the extra inning rule, but then it will fix itself eventually. But Chatham-Kent has now taken the lead at 6-5.
Now, for those of you who can't see at home, Neil's got the point streak game live up for that Chatham-London game, and it was 5-5 in the 11th inning, and then it suddenly started showing out 5-4.
And now
that's not possible.
And now it's 6-5.
And now it's 6-5.
So we're waiting for an official scoring after that. We'll check that one later on. This one's popped foul. And in this contest, it's 14-2, so we're trying not to talk about the score as much as possible. It's just ugly, and we'll leave it at that. And apparently up the road, it's now 32-17 in that football game up the street.
Another Little Caesar strikeout for Hunger.
And Saucedo gets another punch out here.
It's like we said, that fastball has got some zip to it there from Saucedo. Blew Boucher away up and out of the zone there. Well, Neil, you've been doing such hard work with the IBL out-of-town scoreboard. I figured the least I could do is fill the folks in on some MLB action. For those of you watching the Apple TV game tonight, I know, Neil, you mentioned that they drew kind of a tough draw with the
Tampa Bay
Rays and Orioles.
Yeah, not exactly.
That one's gotten a little silly as well. Baltimore winning that one 18-8 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Oh, man. So they're letting fans play in that one now or what? Like, because I'm sure the pitching staffs are done. Have they gone through the outfielders and infielders now?
Who knows?
So is that still a rule? I can only do that in the 9th inning to use a non-pitcher?
Well, I don't know if I know they changed the rule a couple years back because it was getting out of hand, the amount of position players that were pitching, and I was a fan of that. Like, it is fun to watch a position player come in. Oh, haha, look at this. It is funny, but you don't want it to wear out its welcome. You know?
Exactly.
It is baseball after all. You still got to respect the game and all that, but I think it has something to do with the deficit. I don't think a team can do it when it's a less than a 10-run game.
Yeah, maybe it is. I'll have to look that rule up because, it was just one of those weird ones. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Fully expecting to see Freddie Freeman throw again out there at some point.
I can't remember if it was 2021 or 2022, but I remember there was a game, I believe it was the Dodgers involved, and I could be wrong about that, but their pitching staff is always hurt, it seems, so I'll just go with that. And it was a 6-run ball game, and a position player was pitching. And that's just too much. We've seen comebacks, like, they're rare, but 6-run comebacks, like, they do happen. Like, there's at least a handful I could pick out off the top of my head, so good on MLB for stepping down on that and not letting us get too unserious here.
Esmeralda went down on strikes here. Another punch out for the Cardinals.
How about Salcedo's punching out 1-2 in the order? A couple high fastballs away from lefties.
Yep. Jonah Weiser now, who's 2 for 3 in the contest. Gets this one down the line, but it's going to go fair ball in the corner.
As close as it gets.
That thing hit chalk.
Yeah, I was going to say it. Don't be surprised if that ball's got some paint marks on it.
Yep. As Weiser calls time to take some of his extra gear off here and hands it off to the first base coach. And gets his sliding mitt, or as I used to call them, the kids' oven mitts. He's got one for every color the jerseys they got out there. Yep, he's got the big green one out there now. The Welland green one now. Definitely, I wouldn't be surprised to see Weiser on that All-Star ballot with a sizable lead when we start announcing some numbers. I don't think we're going to announce numbers. I think we're going to just announce who's winning in categories. We might drop that tomorrow. We might drop that Sunday.
We can't give it all away too early.
No,
right?
Exactly. But there is some races going on in the ballot and everything else that people need to be aware of, because there might be some surprises suddenly and some shock and awe going on too. This one's hit into left field pretty deep, but it's going to stay in the yard, and it's caught by Daly in left field to end the inning. So Sato gets out of the 8th inning unscathed. Jackfish stranded base runner. It's 14-2 here on Cable 14. But yes, if you haven't voted yet, guys can go to the ibl.ca/vote. Cast your vote. It is 1 vote per email address. You're going to be voting for the North and South team. So make sure you go through all the way through that whole ballot. I know it's a little long, but it's definitely worthwhile to help pick the starters for the All-Star game. Of course, the fan vote and the broadcaster votes are put together, and that's how the All-Star teams are selected. But fans have that 50% impact on the vote as well, as do the broadcasters. So it's a little interesting, a little different, a little spin on things, how it transpires. But yeah, so far it's been a lot of votes across. Almost 2,000 votes have been registered on the website the last time we looked earlier today.
And in case you can't read between the lines there, Neil mentioning the All-Star votes, please do go vote. We gotta remind you guys here watching at home that this is in your hands. The All-Star vote, you get to pick, and it'll be right here at Bernie Arbor in 3 weeks and change, like we said. Gotta put those ballots, get those all locked down, because the talent's going to be out, and as Neil alluded to, some close races potentially on the ballot. Those got to get decided one way or another.
That they
Make
do.
your voice heard by voting.
We're at 1,900. We're at 1,905 votes.
That's already more than it was at the start of the game, like decently more.
Exactly.
Good. They're listening to you.
They are listening. My work here is done. 14-2 is your score here as a new pitcher on the hill for the Jackfish.
If I heard Josh and Nate correctly behind me, that is Anthony Porcelato.
Yep, the second Porcelato. They got the brothers act going on all over the place here tonight.
Yeah, Welland's just having fun now. They're like, yeah, not only are we good, but we've got brothers.
Yep.
Multiple sets of brothers.
We got the bloodlines going on. Who needs the WWE? We got the actual bloodlines going on.
Yeah. We've all seen what the Goms can do, and we've also seen what Mateo Porcelato can do. Anthony, come and join in on the fun, why don't you?
Yep.
Stepping up to the plate, the left fielder, number 97, Brendan Gailey.
Unlike his brother Mateo, Anthony has some prior experience playing summer ball here in Canada. He made 15 appearances for Weyburn in the WCBL back in 2022.
Definitely got to put the WCBL trip on the bucket list the next couple of years here. But that means I have to give up a Friday night.
Something's got to give there.
Yeah. Or we have to make, talk to Eric and say, hey, you got to book a week, somewhere in there. Just let me know. One Friday is not booked.
Group field trip, WCBL.
Yeah. Yes. Go out there on a Thursday, catch the Thursday night games, catch the Friday night games, come home Saturday, and be back in time for Sunday games.
Josh, our PA guy, was telling us that he saw Russell Young, I believe, last year when he was a member of the Edmonton team in the WCL.
Yeah.
And now he's a Hamilton Cardinal.
That he is. Well, there's no question. There's lots of relationships between those teams out west and now the Inter-County League as far as it's definitely becoming more and more of a feeder system for this league.
Well, the guy's born in Ontario, too. They clearly take the league seriously. Nico Kakedos is from the Toronto area. He played at U of T. He played out there for a couple of years.
That he did.
We are, of course, well aware of the Jackfish pipeline.
Yep. As Brendan Daly drives a walk here to start the bottom of the 8th inning. From Porcelato. And that'll bring up Tanner Rempel for his second at bat.
For the first baseman, number 44, Tanner Rempel.
Rempel 0 for 1. He went down looking his first time up against Ben Abram. Not exactly the easiest way to come back into the Inter-County after almost a month layoff there from illness and everything else and injuries. But, yeah. By the way, you're facing Ben. Good luck.
At least his first at-bat wasn't with bases loaded, 2 out in a tight game. You don't want Tanner to put too much pressure on himself.
No. So he takes ball 1 from Porcelato here.
It was around this exact time last year where he was just barreling everything.
That he was. Around this time last year, he became Player of the Week.
Yep. A lot of extra base hits, a lot of RBIs. He was really joining Tyler for a bit there atop the Cardinals lineup in terms of biggest run producers.
Yep.
And there's still quite a bit of season left for Tanner to make his presence felt as Beanball.
That one got a little too far inside. Porcelato not intending to do that, especially not in a contest like this. As the youngster's just trying to get his feet wet in the league here. But a great start from Ben Abram earlier in this contest. 6 innings pitched. Just allowed the 6 hits, 2 runs, both off home runs. No walks, 9 strikeouts through 6 innings of work. And he also got to factor in the fact there he was pretty much shut down for I would say a good 40 minutes while that 5th inning went on.
Yeah.
So definitely a contender for pitcher of the week coming up for sure.
Looks like the big man, Josh Williams, is going to be replaced by the even bigger man, Matt Hildebrand. Looking at the on-deck circle for the Cardinals.
That he is. Hildy's a legend in Welland, that's for sure.
Yes. That clip of him hitting that home run that hit the top of the house beyond right center field was making the rounds when the Cardinals signed him.
I don't know how many times I've watched that. Like Alec Murray's call of that is just such an amazing call. And again, shout out to Alec Murray and his partner Reese Damani last night on the call last night. Those guys do great jobs. I love tuning into those guys. So getting the big thumbs down here as far as, I guess we're turning the volume down here on something. Yes, it's great to see Reese back in the IBL calling baseball games again. He was with the Brantford Red Sox for many years. Got some weird feedback on the headsets there. As that one's fouled away.
It's Brendan down here in the truck. At Cable 14, we're really lucky. We got Alec and Reese work with us on our hockey coverage in the winter.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah. So keeping it all in the family.
There you go. This one's popped up in the air. Playable for the right fielder. And he'll make the catch. And Nichols retired for the first out of the inning on the F9. Sounds like Brendan was eating some pizza down there.
I got some spits going in the truck.
Ah, which flavor?
Dill pickle.
Dill pickle, okay.
Yeah. I like dill pickle. They used to have cracked pepper. Do they still have the cracked pepper ones?
I don't know if they do or not. I used to like the seasoned
those.
ones, the ones that used to come in the green bag.
Yep. And then the barbecue. I'm down with the barbecue as well.
The invisible third broadcast partner here is the producer's doing a great job keeping us on our toes here at Cable 14.
That's the one thing I miss about when you're broadcasting. You can't exactly eat spits up here. So you know.
Yeah.
You're
You're talking a little bit more than I am, I guess, eh?
Yeah, just a little.
Looking at Matt Hildebrand's stats from his Welland years is unbelievable. He not only, obviously, the immense power, but he hit .347 in his rookie year and .331 in his second year in the IBL.
Yep, and then unfortunately had to shut it down due to injuries, if I'm not mistaken. Great to see him back in a uniform and back in the league.
Oh, of course, and the Cardinals. Some of the Cardinals veteran guys have made stops in Welland, so when the news came out that Hildebrand was coming to the Cardinals, they were obviously overjoyed to have their former teammate back.
Yep. That bat looks like a toothpick in his hands. 2-2 pitch from Porcelato. Hildebrand almost hits one right at us here. Almost. We did not duck. We did not waver. We did not pull a Dylan Baker and hide behind the desk.
Yeah. Hildy got a high fastball there, but it was a little bit too high for him to do anything on. He got under it, and back to the screen she goes.
But yeah, I definitely think something's going to come up here eventually at some point. Hildebrand fouls that one off, and somebody else is going to get a souvenir. Actually, it's
that Jono?
That's Jono down there getting the souvenir.
Well, I've seen it all.
There you go.
You got to be like Mr. Rodney now and give it to a kid.
Yeah, that's why he's hanging on to the baseball. I think he's negotiating a trade here for something. There we go. The shrewd negotiator down the line.
I'll give you this ball if you come intern for Cable 14.
Yes. You come do your volunteer hours with us. And that one's going to be missed, and Hildebrand will have another life here. Tough play as they almost had a collision out there, and they were trying to avoid each other.
I'm sure the two brothers are going to have a playful chat about that one after the game. Anthony inducing the pop-up from Hildebrand, and then Mateo Porcelato just overruns it in foul territory.
Chatham Kent winning that ball game 6-5 in London. The Barn are for real. As Hildebrand got underneath this one a little too much, and a diving stop is not going to be made, and Hildebrand's got himself a single here, and runners go to first and second, and the center fielder is still down here.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Is that still Gio out there?
According to the score sheet, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, he's up, sort of. He's upright. He's not up yet, but probably a little winded. Of course, we also got to recognize that the campaigning going on by a very very small young man from Brantford, Emmett Cooper, their bat boy, has been lobbying pretty hard the last couple of days. He's been tagging the league in a lot of social media posts. Got the Red Sox behind it. Gio Morello, we've actually reached out as well because when Gio was with Brantford and everything else, he was the bat boy back then.
Yeah.
So, there's some connection out there. So
could we see him at Bernie Arbor on July 20th?
Could possibly. We're not sure yet. I know there's some discussions, and of course, the league's seen the posts, and it's been great to see the posts and great to see the fans interacting with these posts too. And Emmett just seems like he's a first-class character. So if there's a Team Emmett, I'm definitely going to put myself on Team Emmett. Yeah. And Gio looks like he's going to stay in this ball game.
Big round of applause for Gio Morello.
Yeah, you always got to be careful diving because you don't want to land on yourself there. And
I don't know if he's holding onto his wrist a little bit there or whatever, but it's just kind of like it's definitely stiffened up on him. The trainer's life in this league is never done.
Stepping up to the plate, the right fielder, number 3, Justin.
Hildebrandt going up the line, and do I got it? Yes.
I have an average.
First IBL knock of the season.
Yep. Hopefully the first of many.
So Justin Groves, while he may not be able to impact this game too much, he can certainly play with pride here with the bases loaded, jumping out 1-0.
Takes a big swing and a miss on that one from Porcelato. The inner game in the inner county is now in the top of the 8th inning, and the Guelph Royals extended their lead to 7-4.
They dug themselves quite a hole, but they're mostly on their way out of it.
That they are, and of course they get, as Dino Ramel will tell you, any championships are not won in June and July, but the seeds are definitely sowed. The Ticats victorious this evening, 35-17 at the No Name Stadium.
Well, I'm sure all the fans had a fun time down there at the stadium that shall not be named.
As Tyler Duncan will come to the bat here with the bases loaded and 2 away to face Anthony Porcelato.
Nice to see the Ticats picking the Cardinals up here. Making sure this night isn't a total wash for Hamilton sports.
Takes that one inside from Porcelato for ball 1. Bottom of the 8th inning, and in what's been a very one-sided affair, 14-2 is the score. Cardinals just trying to save some face here. Duncan gets a wild pitch here in the dirt, and that's going to score a run. It's now 14-3. As the runners will go up first to second and third respectively, and Duncan now still has a job to do with a 2-0 count in his favor. Duncan did get the first run across the board with a solo blast in the second inning for the Cardinals.
Many moons ago.
Yes, many, many moons ago. As we're now closing in on the 11 o'clock hour. Duncan hits a liner down the line. That's going to drive in one. Likely two, as Hildebrandt's going to get the wave. It goes in the corner. Duncan's on his horse. He's got himself a double to go with the home run in the contest. Cardinals making a game of it here late. It's now 14-5.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher, number 34.
And again, with the game the way it is, obviously the expectation is it's not to put up a 11-run inning to tie it here, but
nope,
you just can't roll over. And Tyler Duncan got a pitch to hit there,
exactly.
And scorched it the other way. And
there's some guys on this team that have been struggling with the baseball bat, so they get an opportunity to get in reps in here and see some more pitching, work on some things, and a lot of younger kids getting an opportunity in the second half of this ball game to show the coaches what they got.
Yeah, and a bunch of them reached base there for Tyler, and he made it worth their while.
And that's a wild pitch that's going to get away from the catcher. Duncan will trot over to third on the contest. Well, in a situation like that, you don't want to be breaking hard either. But at the same time, you got to still follow the rules, and you got to still keep moving them up the base runners here.
Hustle, but don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the time. Well, Anthony Porcelato has had some command troubles here. This is going to be pitch number 30 of the inning. Behind 2-1 here on Cardinals second catcher, Russell Young.
Young watches that one upstairs against the count to 3-1. Young acquired from the Jackfish a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Yep.
It's a stinger right at the shortstop. Weiser up with it, one hop, throws across the diamond the first in time, and that'll be end the inning. Cardinals get a couple runs back, courtesy of a couple base hits. And now it's 14-5. We head to the ninth inning here on Cable 14.
And Cardinal fans, that's 4 runs on the board. You know what that means. Head to Jack Astor's Eastgate or Ancaster tomorrow and show your ticket to score a free appetizer. That's right, 4 runs equals free appetizers. Thanks to our friends at Jack Astor's.
Be interesting to see if Duncan is going back out there, but looks like he's getting his stuff and heading back out.
Fans, have your 50-50 tickets ready. It's time to announce the winner. On behalf of the Cancer Assistance Program, thank you for your incredible support.
Of course, we got to thank our friends at TS Media for all the promotional media options they do, and of course the highlight reels and everything else. Just see through the cut scenes here. A lot of great fun during that media day with these guys and everything else, and I've seen a lot of the outtakes. We gotta make a B-reel one of these days just to show some of those fun ones. But of course, it's big friends to our big shout out to our friends at TS Media here for those ones. As Saucedo go back out to work here for his third inning of work here, looking to close this one out for the Cardinals. We're down by a lot here. It's good old Storm and Matt from TS Media with all the great visuals. But I believe the Jackfish have now won, sorry, not the Jackfish, the Barnstormers are now 1-2 in a row over the majors, and they're still riding pretty high this coming into the action now.
They started the season not so well. Their first 7 or 8 games or so were slightly forgettable, but they've been on quite the roll basically all month.
They have been.
And I tell you what, Neil, from watching them play the Cardinals a couple times, they are not the most talented team in the league, but man, they are a very well-oiled machine.
Well, they are.
They know how to bunt. They know how to run. Their infield defense charges every play like their life depends on it.
Yep.
And they just play real fundamentally sound baseball. And a lot of times, hard work will win out over everything else. And the Barnstormers, I think, have been living proof of that this season.
Well, Gil Rendon got my cell number from, I'm guessing, Harry or Dom Donnell, and he called me the Monday afternoon after we were here, when he got ejected at first base and everything else, and he wanted to apologize and wanted to explain what happened in the inning, because you and I didn't know what happened, why he got tossed or anything else.
Yeah,
and it was just like he was just standing up for one of his players.
Yeah.
John was trying to jump in with a Downtown scoreboard, but yeah, he called. We had a good hour and a half conversation on the phone. And it was a great talk. It started about the inning and everything else, but then it transpired to what the philosophy with the Barnstormers is and what he's trying to instill in these kids and everything else. And, it's great to see what he's been able to turn around with that team.
Winning culture.
Yep. And Saucedo's got the beer batter on the ropes here.
Doesn't mean much now with the bird feeder closed. But
no, but it's still a name only. They're got a lightning strike in the background, and they're going to be happy.
What it does do is add to the collective stat line of beer batters this season. Yes, it does.
I've always been worried like how these things are picked and everything else, but it is actually off a wheel. It's not at random, so
That's got to be the next project for the Cardinals R&D department.
Yep.
Figure out the beer batter stats. We need a collective season-long running total here, because I don't know what it is, but it feels like this year there's been a lot more of those going the fans' way.
Well, exactly. I kind of think sometimes it's like the guys that have in the back are going to go, okay, I'll just let those have this one. I'm not feeling it or whatever, and I'll give in to the whims, but it hasn't been that case.
No. Saucedo showed off the changeup there against
But it does
Grayson
also help,
Barrett.
you got a guy like Owen Boone on the mound when the beer batter comes up. So your odds are a little more in your favor in those nights.
Owen has punched many a beer batter's ticket.
That he has. Oh, boy.
It's a laugher, folks.
Yes, it is a laugher.
It's a laugher.
Yeah, we definitely have lightning in the background. I just saw another flicker. So
It's getting closer, it looks like.
Yep. Well, originally the weather forecast on my phone anyway said thunder and lightning around 11 p.m. So we're getting close, and we were dumb enough not to bring the umbrellas out of the car. Hopefully Jenny's already gone back to the car, and I just have to be like almost like a quick stop out the front door. Oh, wow. Yeah, something just went flickering again. A flip and not in time. Oh, but the runner takes a stumble down the line. Be an infield single there. And Austin Gom will be the batter now.
Number 6, Austin Gom.
How many times through the order are we for the Welland Jackfish?
I think this is 6. This is 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you to Nate, the official scorer, Neil, and Josh, answering my many questions up here.
Yes, Nate was reminding us about that playoff game in 22 where the Royals got to the 7th batter, so the 7th time through the order.
Was it extra innings?
No, I think it was a blowout here.
No.
Pretty sure it was a game they had to win to force Game 5, which then, of course, the Cardinals won at Hastings Stadium in 11 innings. So Sato goes for the Rosenbag one more time before towing the rubber again.
There's been a comical number of infield hits tonight.
That there has been, but a lot of balls have died in the infield too, and it's just taken weird hops and misdirections and stuff you just can't make up.
You got to see it to believe it. And my, did we ever see it all tonight.
Yep. It seems like the collective frustration of the Jackfish got released in that 5th inning.
Yeah, that was a solid couple weeks of pent-up aggravation that the Jackfish have unleashed upon the city of Hamilton tonight.
That they have. There is activity down in the Jackfish bullpen. This one's fouled away.
Perhaps somebody other than Anthony Porcelato to close this one out.
Yep. Somebody is down there getting loose. I can't tell who it is, though.
They had Seward and Gillespie go yesterday.
Yep.
And after Abrams' efforts today and going out there after the long top of the 5th, their bullpen's in tip-top shape.
And so Sato gets another punch out here. He's done a great job in relief tonight.
Off the plate, left field, number 21.
So in a game like this, you focus on the positives. You put everything else out behind you, and it's okay. Yeah, you know what? It was a stinker. Let's move on, and let's build off the positives. And I think this one is definitely a positive here. Saucedo here. You just go out there and okay, yeah, I went out and against the best team in this league and battled for 3 innings.
I think the Cardinals got to be thrilled with what Saucedo gave them today.
Yeah, we're going to get a live look at the Jackfish bullpen down there, and hopefully they'll turn around a little bit so we can figure out who it is.
Let's see the numbers now. Be nice to your local neighborhood broadcaster. Oh, they're not going to do it.
No. They're not going to do it. You have to wait till we come into the ballgame. And thanks again to the camera crews for bringing that shot down the line. One misses upstairs. And the count is 3-0. on Hoope, who's 0 for 2 in the contest since coming as an emergency pinch runner. That one went outside, and Hoope will draw the walk here. And runners at second and first now with 2 away here in the 9th inning.
Stepping up the plate, second baseman number 20, Brandon Luther.
And so concludes trip number 6 through the Welland Jackfish order here with Brendan Luther.
Boucher comes up to the bat for the Boucher does have 1 hit in his several plate appearances tonight.
Yeah, several. It's a good way of summarizing this one.
Yes. Tonight to pad the stats. That's for sure. Not that the Jackfish stats needed padding. That one's foul down the line and out of play. It's going to go bouncing past the bullpen and into the corner. And more lightning out behind us here off to our left. Saucedo's 1-2 offering. Swung on and missed. There's another punch out. They'll throw down to first. To complete the transaction, K23 goes to put out. And the inning is over. Cardinals will be bat here in the home half of the 9th inning, down by a lot here on Cable 14.
1 hit with 2 runners left on base and scores 14-5 as we hit the bottom.
And a big hug there for Saucedo from his manager Chris Piano coming off the mound. It's, again, a thankless job, and to come into a game of that score and just, again, we've been saying it a lot tonight because it hasn't been close for a while now, but you just got to play with pride here, and Saucedo wore it, and he showed off some good stuff tonight and struck out a lot of batters.
That he did.
And saved the bullpen for Sunday.
Exactly. Of course, Sunday's contest is a 2 o'clock start here against the Barrie Bay Cats. Come join us for some Canada Day's fun a couple days early. Wear some red. And let's fill this park up here. Or you can watch it on Cable 14, game time, of course, 2 o'clock. Matt and myself will have the call for you. As Reed Duffy is recovering from his dental surgery, and hopefully everything is going well. I did speak to him yesterday via text messages.
Fans still in attendance, the final score of the Ticats game, your Ticats 35, the visiting Alouettes 17.
And number 44 is coming into pitch now for the Welland
Bench,
Jackfish.
I believe.
Yep.
Andy Bench.
Andy Bench comes in.
I haven't received confirmation from McFly, but you got to think the Cardinals are wearing red on Sunday. That feels like a foregone conclusion.
I would think so. I would think so.
They've worn every other jersey this week except for the Father's Day ones. They wore the grays in Toronto. They wore the blacks yesterday. They wore the whites today. Just Canada Day.
So does the starting pitcher still get to choose it, or is it now McFly's call?
Sorry?
Does the starting pitcher still get to choose it, or is it now McFly's call?
Well, we were doing that, but we figured, you know what, McFly's been doing a lot of hard work. We've lately, the past couple weeks, we've just been letting him choose whatever's easiest as far as laundry and that stuff goes. Which I feel like that makes sense to do when the schedule has been what it is. There's been a metric ton of baseball this month for the Cardinals, it feels like.
Exactly.
And they're finally back up to schedule on the rainouts. They've rectified that issue on Wednesday night in Toronto. So when there's a lot of games and you got this many jerseys, you may as well go through them all.
Well, exactly. It's not like the good old days when you play rep baseball and you have one set of jerseys.
Yeah.
Poor mom would be out there watching the darn things during the school day. Or in the summertime, it'd be like hanging out. She'd pretty much, okay, take it off. Got to wash it. And, you see it hanging up there by the next morning.
I do not miss those all-day baseball tournaments.
Oh, no.
I was never any good. I played house league. But still, that means we only had one set of jerseys.
Yep.
And you'd be playing from late morning till the lights came on. And was that equipment ever gross by the end of the day?
The good old Red Chevron Club for the first 2 years they played house league baseball. Yes, I remember those. Burgundy and gray. We had the worst looking colors.
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
burgundy's fine, but you can't mix it with gray. That's just
No, it was just that was also the colors of the Red Chevron Club, so I get it. But it was just like, oh man.
As a graphic designer, that must send you up the wall.
Wow. I was just like, okay, yeah. Very standard jerseys back those days. Had the Guelph Minor baseball logo on it, and that was it. No names, nothing else. We had our numbers on it. They were just numbered 1 to 15 because there were 15 players on the team. Leadoff walk here to start the inning, and Veloci will be aboard here. As all the lights down the street are off now.
Stepping up to the plate, second baseman number 6, Jaden Brown.
Jaden Brown will come to the bat. Seems to be moving more towards center field, so I'm not sure where that lightning is actually hitting now.
It's been moving closer and closer, it feels like.
Brown hits this one loud, but it's going to go foul and then a play down the lines.
And the wind's picking up too, Neil. I fear we might be in danger here on our way out of this place.
Yeah. It might be okay, let's pull into the Tim Hortons, grab a coffee on the way home. I don't want a coffee at this time of night. I'll be off till 4 then. Promised everybody else they can sleep in tomorrow. I'll be very quiet. I'm not even going to wake the dog up to take her outside tomorrow. She can stay there. I'll do what I got to do before noon so I can watch wrestling in the afternoon. Brown fouls that one off. The count will remain 0-2. Ball misses upstairs. And the count is 1-2 on Brown. Bench gets the sign from his catcher, Gom. And gets the punch out. Brown goes down swinging for the first out here in the 9th inning. As Brandon Daly will come to the plate now.
Stepping up to the plate, left fielder number 97, Brandon Daly.
14-5 is your score here in the 9th. Jackfish looking to snap their 3-game winless streak. And more importantly, got the bats booming in this contest. A very loud and long 5th inning.
The Jackfish scored twice as many runs tonight as they did in the previous 4 games combined.
Yep. Well, you could just tell when they came off the bus and everything else, they were taking batting practice. There wasn't a lot of joking around. There wasn't anything else. It seemed like a bunch of guys that were definitely focused on the task at hand, which is just going out there and finding a way to beat the Cardinals on the field tonight. But strangely this year, the home teams have lost a lot more than, not just in this ballpark, but all across the league.
Home field disadvantage.
Yeah.
It feels like the Cardinals have lost a lot of home games because they haven't won on Sundays at all yet. They're still winless on the Sunday home games, and until today, of course, there's still 2 outs to go, and barring the
comeback
absolute catastrophe,
yep,
this will be their first loss on a Friday night home game, and they have those every week.
That they do. But Daly draws a 1-0 walk here, and the inning will continue for Tanner Rempel.
I think the storm's coming.
The wind is changing.
It's getting gusty. The doors in the press box have blown wide open.
Yep.
The lightning inches closer, Neil.
I think I'm going to send a message to somebody and say, hey, you might want to go to get the car. Not just for my own selfish reasons, but, go get the car. One of us might as well be dry. Might as well be her.
Yeah. Hey, if it's got to be one.
Yep. Because I still got to take down my laptop, shut everything off, and everything else, One of us might as well be dry. I'm waiting for the answer back. Already well ahead of you. Oh, misses outside for a ball. 2-1 the count now. And that lightning keeps flickering away here. And
Bench having trouble finding the zone here.
Yep.
Ball's popping out of his hand early and late. Never on time.
Two-one offering on Rempel. Big swing and a miss on that one. Bench gets the sign. His 2-2 offering is lined to right field for a base hit. It's going to get down in the corner. Rumpel's going to go extra bases here. A run will come in, and the Cardinals are showing signs of life. It's now 14-6. It's a great sign to see Tanner Rempel swinging the bat like he can here. He hit a cue shot down the right field line. As Nick Veloci comes in to score, and the Cardinals now down by 8 here in the 9th inning.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Neil. It's just a sight for sore eyes to see Tanner hitting those doubles again like he did so many times last year, and hopefully
look at that giant grin he has on his face at second base.
Yeah. Just one of the brightest personalities in this game. He's a fun guy to be around, and
yep.
You're hoping that it's just the start for Tanner as he tries to pick up the pieces and get going here late to the party, but not too late, hopefully.
Nope. This one's popped in the air by Nichols to center field. Morello will chase this one over. He'll make the catch. Runners are going to tag. Another run will come home. Give Nichols the sacrifice fly and the RBI. Rempel goes to third. And it's a 14-7 ball game.
Yeah, the wind took that one. It looked like it was going to be slightly to the left of center, at least from our vantage point. And then Morello had to trot way over toward right field. He was easily in right center by the time he made the catch. Good on him to stick with it.
As Hildy will come to bat for the second time in this contest. I love that he comes up with the magic stick and that baseball bat looks like a toothpick in his hand. A big cut on that offering. That thing was going to the skyway if he hits it. Wherever that is from this direction, from where I'm directionally challenging this ballpark. You think after 3 years they'd figure that out?
It's okay. I haven't the slightest clue myself.
Have you seen the All-Star jerseys yet or no?
I don't believe so.
Neither have I. Kind of curious what they look like.
I know my bosses are going to get on me for that because I definitely should have by now, but.
Well, because for graphic reasons, we're trying to come up with a.
Have you seen them?
No, I have not.
Okay.
So I'm kind of curious because I'm just trying to match the colors for the graphics. Like last year we did baseball cards.
Yeah.
Announcing everything else. So I want to do them again this year and give them to the players. So I kind of got to know what the jerseys look like. So maybe that would be a task on Sunday. As Hildenbrand lines this one in the outfield, it's going to drop in. He's got himself a single, and the Cardinals get another run. Now trailing by 6. It's 14-8. You hit it right at the skyway? Okay, in the center field. Okay.
So it is that way.
It is that way. All right.
Wow.
Okay. We're going to put a skyway banner or something out there so we know where it is from now on.
Maybe
or at least more something on a sticker out here so we know where it is.
Maybe we're not so directionally challenged after all.
Maybe not.
I guess it does make sense because now I'm reverse engineering my route out of here. Because I got to take the skyway on my way home, and it does make sense. It would be right over there.
I'll never forget when the first time we came down here when the link was closed, our GPS took us all the way to Oakville. We had to come back over the skyway to get here. It was not good. Let's put it that way. Man, we learned in a hurry. Don't follow the GPS anymore. Just come up Main Street. And that's pretty much how we come up every time now.
Well, the link being closed causes an apocalypse for a weekend.
Yep. Well, then it wasn't closed the weekend. It was supposed to be closed. Then it delayed it again, and then we actually were going to take it home to one Friday night, and it was, lo and behold, it was closed.
Yeah, well, the first time it was the weather, obviously, because you're not going to do all that in the rain and the cold.
Yeah.
But then they rescheduled it, and then they were like, oh, wait, the Skyway's going to be closed this weekend also. We can't have both things closed at the same time.
No.
That would just be irresponsible. So they left it open again and let the Skyway maintenance go on as scheduled, and then once that was done, they were like, okay, now we'll
close it.
Yeah.
Well, Ferrell's game is in the bottom of the 9th inning now. Whoa, that's a big lightning strike, and that's going to end the ball game anyways. The Jackfish will win this one. 14-8 is your final score. Jackfish snapping their 3-game losing skid with a loud, very authoritative, not tonight. Not getting that fourth one. But yes, that was definitely just one of those nights where you walk into the ballpark and just have that feeling the other team is just going to find a way to win. And it doesn't matter what was going on out there.
Yeah, they might have pushed their luck a little bit too far, and that's about as authoritative of an end to a losing streak that you'll see. And it was only 3. We're acting like the sky was falling here in Welland, but they've just set the bar so high for themselves.
Yep.
And the Cardinals knocked them a half game out of first place last night, and they said, not anymore.
Yep, they're back in the first place by themselves as the London Majors drop tonight's contest 6-5. So Jackfish back on top of the standings. The London Majors had the first place to themselves for less than 24 hours.
Yep. Right back at it. I hope London enjoyed their time up top, but their loss tonight in the Welland Wind, the Welland Wind has reset the order here.
That it has. As we wrap it up here from Bernie Arbor Stadium, we thank you again for tuning in. A reminder, next home game for the Cardinals is Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, against the Barrie Baycats. For Matt Creedy and myself, Neil Sherwaswa signing off from Bernie Arbor. Have yourself a great night. Once again, folks,